In 2002, his Giants had a 5-0 lead in the 7th inning, ready to capture the World Series, and lost. The next year, his Cubs, trying to win the NL pennant, had a 3-0 lead in the 8th inning, and lost. Last year, his Astros, against the Braves in the World Series, eliminated. Dusty Baker is a man of faith. He's an avid fisherman, a music enthusiast, but has been defined too much. What's missing? No man has managed more games without winning the World Series. Tonight, his 25-year journey brings him back to a Game 6. A chance to change history, a chance to make history.
Somebody mentioned his big fisherman. He said, "Listen, I get that fish into the boat. Those are the toughest moments. Second last grab out anybody is so tough." As he goes to John is far from finished. But it feels like he's got the right man for the job. Robert Valdez, who started Game 2, and I'm out here for Game 6. And what a difference a year makes for the youngsters. 2 games in the World Series last year to set the emotion. They failed to make it through the 3rd inning, and either of them starts against Atlanta. But in Game 2 of the World Series against the Phillies, facing in the 7th inning, they dominated that game just the 1 run. He's fixed it twice over the last month. And Johnny struck out 19 over 11 plus innings.
This guy's turned into a bulldog. He has a tremendous sinker, a lot of ground balls, but he has great balance, and really he's learned to have a great heartbeat on the mound. And if you're a game watcher or film watcher, you're going to want to do the same thing he did against the Phillies. That's no changing that.
Lineup that'll face off was here in Game 6 with the Bryce to beat it off. And then Hoskins and Realmuto. Harper, Castellanos, and Bohm. Segura is the 7th hitter at second baseman with the lefty on top.
What's going on, everybody? John Ott here with you. It is Saturday, November 5th. It is time for Game 6 of the World Series. I'm going to get my notes and everything else all set up right now because this is big time right now. We're going to figure out if the Houston Astros claim the Commissioner's Trophy tonight or if the Philadelphia Phillies force Game 7. So what does that look like and what's on our hands right now? It's Framber Valdez on the mound. Valdez was excellent in Game 2. And in his previous outing, let's scroll through this. In his previous outing, he pitched 6 1/3 innings. He gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and he punched out 9 batters. So to the start of it, the lineup is going to stay the same for Rob Thomson's squad. It's going to be Kyle Schwarber with Rhys Hoskins and JT Realmuto, 1, 2, 3 to start. So it pretty much comes like this. If the Philadelphia Phillies do not win this game tonight, it's over. That's all it is right now. And the Astros, they've been around the World Series over the last couple of years. Again, they last won it in 2017. They appeared in 2019, 2021, and now 2022. So the Astros, regardless of everything else that's going on and whether you believe all the stuff, and I do, with all the sign stealing and the buzzers and all that, but you have to still admit, even with all of that, this is a good organization, and they want to put some of those ghosts to bed, although I would believe you can never really do such a thing. So first pitch going to be underway here is Valdez. So it was a cutter at 95, just a little bit below the strike zone, and Schwarber takes this one for a ball. So I'm not entirely sure whether or not Cooper Hopkins is going to be here with me for Game 6. I'll try to get him on for Game 7, especially if we ever get to that point. Schwarber puts this one up in the hands, and he follows it straight back. It's 1-1. So I'll do my best if I'll get him in here. It'll be a 2-man broadcast crew. But I appreciate anyone that follows along on the Twitter Spaces side, anyone that follows along on the YouTube side. I'll get my questions and everything else in the chat all set up once we get through this half inning. Just want to make sure I got everything else in on time. And Framber Valdez, didn't get a chance to actually watch Game 2, but we covered all the other ones here. We'll see his pace of play and how comfortable he is on the mound. They're going to try to see if Schwarber went to go check on that fastball. And that's a tough call there for Kyle Schwarber, but they're going to say he bid on it. And now it's 1-2. Take another look at this from the Fox cameras, and yeah, he just caught part of the home plate as it just went across, but that was awfully tough there. Valdez will get the sign from Martin Maldonado. That is a gorgeous pitch, And wow, the umpire called it a ball. And that was like 6 feet inside the strike zone through the left corner. I mean, that's a cutter that had the swing back action. And maybe the one before that was one that shouldn't have went there for Schwarber. He got the call. Robert Valdez is a little bit heated, and I don't blame him. But that's what happens with those robotic umpires. Sometimes, that won't be the case. 2-2 Valdez off the curve, and he's still shaking his head at the umpire. He said, I can't believe it. I shouldn't even have to throw this pitch right now. As Schwarber is going to get back and dig in. What's going on, Marple? I appreciate you hanging around all throughout these World Series. We'll see if we get a definitive result tonight or whether or not we're going to Game 7. Valdez already shaking his head a few times. Full count pitch. And that was busted inside. And they checked to see if Schwarber went. He did not go. So that probably could have been a walk that maybe shouldn't have been. But at the same time, grilled cheese is always good. At the same time, it's a situation where, yeah, you benefited from one that maybe wasn't a strike. You benefited from one that maybe wasn't a swing, but you ended up getting the walk anyway. It's Kyle Schwarber, so it's still a good at bat. You got to be patient. Find your pitch to hit. Sometimes you will get lucky, no doubt about it. So that will bring up Rhys Hoskins again. No changes here for Rob Thompson's squad tonight. And this could be an immediate double play. Bregman, toss over there from Altuve. And they get it. So Rhys Hoskins immediately, he's trying to get away from those 5 strikeouts from Game 5. He immediately rolls into a double play. So he said, I hope the Astros will win the series, or maybe by a turn of events, get past Harper. Well, you know what? Harper really is the only guy right now. Over the last 18 innings, the Phillies averaged 2 runs. Because they had 2 runs before them, then got shut out. So average that out, 1 run over the last 18 innings per game. And Harper's the only guy doing damage. So maybe if you're Houston, you just go with the same game plan. You're careful with Bryce, and you let the chips fall where they may for everyone else. Sounds about right to me, especially because you have JT Realmuto still batting in the 3 spot. He's 3 for 21 in the World Series right now with a bevy of strikeouts. So I don't think you need to change much. And Robert Valdez has been the best arm there for the Astros, as that is a gorgeous sinker right on the black. And Realmuto could do nothing but take that for a strike. So appreciate anyone that's going to bounce in between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. I imagine it will be busy. And again, I will get the chat question going. Curveball just a little bit off the outside black. And Realmuto takes that one for a ball. It's a 1-1 counter for JT. Valdez trying to go 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Again, all that's on stake right now is the Astros win this game. They win the World Series. And if the Philadelphia Phillies win, we force a Game 7 tomorrow at 8:05 Eastern Time. 1-1 for JT. Valdez taking an extra beat before he gets the sign in there with Maldonado. As they put their head down and relay the signs with the nail polish on the fingers. That's usually the way it goes. Valdez will deliver. Fastball a little bit late there. Realmuto caught all of it. Just a little bit out front. So $1.43 in the World Series here for JT Realmuto. That has got to change. Pretty much everything for Philadelphia has to change over the last couple outings there, because the bats just went cold when they were pretty much Thanos at Citizens Bank Park. Yeah, that's kind of changed. But maybe the change of venue and the Minute Maid could do something for Philadelphia. The crowd's going to be behind Houston, no doubt about that. But the venue change, the extra day off, I mean, it certainly can't hurt the Philadelphia Phillies the way that their offense has kind of petered out over the last couple, especially in games 4 and 5. Bryce Harper will be waiting on deck, but that ultimately depends on whether Realmuto can get a base hit, draw a walk, or anything else. It's 2 outs. As you get a long look into Bryce, and JT Realmuto is just now stepping back into the box. Rob Thompson, who's for the Yankees, and now the manager for the Philadelphia Phillies. A hammer. And that actually hit him in the right leg. Valdez doesn't like it. And again, from seeing Valdez for the first time, because I didn't get a chance to watch Game 2, we covered all the other ones. Very demonstrative on the mound is Framber Valdez. And anytime something doesn't go right, you can see that on his face. So you just wonder, again, I'm just throwing this out there, but you just wonder, as it hit him right on the top of the left foot, JT Realmuto, if Valdez shows all that stuff in his face, if you can go ahead and get underneath his skin if you're Philadelphia. Just throwing that out there, a little bit of gamesmanship. Who knows which way that's going to go. So JT Realmuto was hit by the curveball on the left foot, and that's going to bring up Bryce Harper here with 2 outs. 373 in the postseason, 6 bombs, 13 RBI, hitting 250 in the World Series. First pitch, he rockets this one. Altuve with a sweet diving play, throw over there to Mancini. And the defense there from a couple seasons ago, that's kind of turned by the wayside because that was a gorgeous play there. So Phillies go quietly. It's going to bring up the Astros in the bottom of the first. Come right back. I'm going to go ahead and put the YouTube question in there right now if you guys want to interact with it. Let's see.
If you test positive and are at high risk for severe disease, act fast. Ask if oral treatment is right for you. COVID-19 was fast, and now you can too.
I know it's a simple question, but kind of have to just throw this out there for anyone else that comes in there. So sometimes you don't need to make it any more difficult than it already is.
But it'll never be today again.
Again, anyone else that joins in from Twitter Spaces side and the YouTube side, I appreciate it as always. I'm confident the Astros are going to win it. I don't blame you there, Marple. I think it's going to be tough. I think Philadelphia could force a Game 7, but even with that, I would say the Astros are going to win this thing. They did their job taking 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, and that's going to put them in the situation where things look good right now. You got 2 chances at home to finish it out. You got to feel confident if you're the Astros. They're going to have to look at those football scores and stuff a little bit after that once they get to the bottom half because there's been a few of them today. I know Tennessee's not going to be number 1 anymore from what I saw. So Zach Wheeler, he's going to get on the mound now here to start World Series game number 6, and he's got to be better because in the game 2 side he gave up 5 runs. So they're talking about his velocity in the World Series and the sinker and all that. He's bottoming out right now about 96 when he's normally around 98. Sometimes he can be in the upper reaches and almost hitting a hundo. So it's one of those situations where these guys are this good. You can time a bullet out of a gun there so they can find something they can hang and drive. That's going to be some significant damage. And also as well, when you think about Jeremy Pena and Jose Altuve, they went 5 for 8 in Game 5. And Jeremy Pena was the first rookie shortstop to hit a home run in the World Series. So these guys have been doing a lot of damage and kind of driving that bus. And if they do so here in Game 6, you think they have a really good opportunity to hoist this thing tonight. So it's 1-1 against Jose Altuve right now as the leadoff is just in the way in the bottom of the first. We are scoreless. Altuve takes the hook. That was a gorgeous pitch from the bottom right corner by Wheeler. So Wheeler features a 4-seam, a slider, a sinker, a curve, and a changeup. He ranges from 81 to 95 anywhere in his velocity side of it. His last outing, again, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So he's got to kind of key in on that as Altuve got blown away with the fastball, and that was in the upper reaches of what Wheeler can do right now, which was 98. Again, he's normally around 100 when he's right, so maybe with that extra adrenaline, you might see that fastball velocity up there about another mile and a half or tick or so. So as Altuve strikes out, that's going to bring up one of the heroes there of Game 5, because again, after the Altuve triple, Pena scored off the single in Game 5, and then he had a home run in the 4th. So it was the Altuve and Pena showcase when they were able to get that big win. So the story of the series so far, and the last ended it was a 3-2 win for Houston. They have a 3-2 series lead. They're trying to win the World Series tonight. It was a 6-5 comeback in Game 1 for Philadelphia when Houston had a 5-0 lead. And then Valdez just said, enough with all that. You're going to win 5-2 in Game 2. Philadelphia won 7-0 in Game 3. And then a combined no-hitter, a 5-0 win for Philadelphia. In Game 4, Houston bounces back with a 3-2 win in Game 5. And that's why the series lead for the Houston Astros is 3-2. And they can finish it off tonight. Wheeler, 2 up, 2 down right now between Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena. So that's going to instill a little bit of confidence here early, just 6 pitches into his night. Again, you would think tomorrow would be a situation, if it gets to it, that Ranger Suarez will be on the mound for Philadelphia, and there would be some kind of mix of Christian Javier on 3 days rest, if that's going to get to that point, because he was a beast the last time they played. So that's what I would imagine the probables would be there between Javier and Ranger Suarez, but Philadelphia is going to get to that point. So it's Yordan Alvarez. Fastball slammed toward the warning track side, but Kyle Schwarber is going to catch it in left field just before the track. And after one, it's 0-0 across the board. We're scoreless. Come right back. Second inning in a moment. All right, so I'm going to update that in the chat box as we go along. For those that just check in on the YouTube side, again, I see you guys bunching in and out here, and I appreciate that. I'm just going to give you the play-by-play of this game. Obviously, I can't show you anything on the local Fox side or any of that for copyright issues, but I will give you the full play-by-play courtesy of this thing, and then hopelesssportsguide.wordpress.com. That is going to give you the complete game story and everything else to follow with the broadcast.
Everyone can get Verizon for just $30 a line. And now's the time to switch because you'll get $160 only on the network of America relies on Verizon. I don't say any of this to frighten you. Robert Bruce. He's obsessed.
What do you mean obsessed?
Stay the hell away from my family. I'm living forever. He's been doing this for years. You could have stopped it.
My hope is that as we get going along, maybe Cooper Hopkins will join in. We can do the 2-man booth. But if he's busy, and I can't do much to change it. What's going on, Brady? How you doing? I'm just bouncing in and out on the Twitter Spaces side. So it's 3 up, 3 down here for Valdez and Wheeler as we're in the middle of the commercial break. Yeah, I always have all that stuff going on in the chat section. I don't know why that is, but they just hit me every time with these streams, and it's always the same one. So can't do nothing about that, I guess. That's why you might get lag. I think that's why I get occasional lag, because it gets spammed. So back into the second inning, we are scoreless. It's going to be Nick Castellanos, Alec Bohm, and Gene Segura. And curve to Castellanos is just low, apparently. Castellanos 3 for 20 in this World Series so far with an RBI, 197 in the postseason. But again, for Nick Castellanos, it's all about the glove right now, which is something that we never used to be able to say, especially when Castellanos is in Detroit. He's going to follow this one almost off his foot and down the third baseline, and we'll do it again at 1-1. So Castellanos, again, he is one of those guys over the last couple of seasons. When he was on the Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds, he was absolutely unstoppable. So if you can hone into that, at least for maybe one night, alongside helping out Bryce Harper, you think Philadelphia can get back into the driver's seat and tie the series up. Can't just be about Bryce. Can't just be about walks, maybe occasionally getting something. Philadelphia's going to find it here because, again, over the last game 4 and 5, it's an average of only 1 run per. It was 2 runs in the game 4 and then shut out. And that's 18 innings of work, and that's not a small sample size. So Houston's bullpen has been astronomically good, as this one's going to bounce fair just to Bregman, but the ball is not picked up there by Trey Mancini. So the follow through there from the passover from Bregman to Mancini, I thought was a decent feed, but maybe Trey didn't actually get a piece of that in his glove. Obviously, Castellanos is safe. I want to take a chance to see how that looked over here. So it stayed right on the line side. Are they saying that it's foul or is it fair? That's the question. So now it was foul just outside of the line there. So Castellanos can go back to the batter's box, and now it's 1-2. So my apologies that was awfully close, but the ump was right on it. It was just foul. And that was probably lucky there because Mancini couldn't pick up the transfer. So we'll do this at 1-2 as Valdez will stick back in. And now he gets a friendly call on the sinker. And Castellanos might have been thrown up there at first anyway if the ball was initially fair. So I guess, but I mean, that's a friendly call there. So the umpiring, and I'm not saying this, I'm saying this on both sides, not just one. It's been a little inconsistent so far. We're just early through this contest here, just a out in at the top of the second. So it could be a long night for both of these teams in behind the plate. Who knows? So now it's going to bring up Alec Bohm. Again, 280 in the regular season with 13 bombs and 72 RBI. Alec Bohm has had some pretty good at-bats as he rifles one to center field. Now it's going to be a solid single as McCormick's going to have to play on a hop. And Bohm took a couple of chop steps towards second base. He'll go right back. And now that will bring up Gene Segura. So Alec Bohm on with a solid single. Philadelphia's got a man on with 1 out on top of the second. John Ott here with you with Game 6 of the World Series from the local Fox feed. I appreciate anyone else that bounces in between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side tonight. What's on stake? It's the Houston Astros, chance to win the Commissioner's Trophy tonight. The Philadelphia Phillies, they got to win to force Game 7. That's pretty much what we got right now, and that's what's ahead of us. And if Philadelphia does force Game 7, it's going to be played tomorrow about 8:05 Eastern, and I'll be right back on the call. Just on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side once more. Full coverage will be at hopelessportsguy.wordpress.com. Gene Segura, that one bounces in between the plate, and it's 1-1 now. As Maldonado made a good stop, he stopped Alec Bohm from being able to get a chance to get to second base. So from Valdez, I'm going to scroll up here just to look at it so you can get a reprimand of the pitching arsenal that Frommer features here. It's primarily a sinker, a curve, a slider, a changeup, and a four-seam, ranging from 79 on the low end to 94 on the top end. So he's going to use that sink. He's going to use that curve to try to entice these batters to swing about 6-8 feet in the dirt. And if one of those things hangs, I mean, you're at a 92 velocity there. You could deposit that one, especially in between Philadelphia at Citizens Bank, and now we're going to be at Minute Maid for Game 6 and Game 7 if needed. It's a home run ballpark, and it can travel. So you got to be careful here if you're Valdez. You're not throwing 99. You got to use that pinpoint command and entice batters to swing. So 1-2 now. It's going to be Bohm at first and a casual toss over there, and that almost caught Bohm by surprise, but even more so caught Mancini by surprise, so no chance to even get a tag on there. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Framber Valdez already at 22 pitches, just 1 1/3 innings. So we'll get a chance to keep our eye on that as this goes along. 1-2 pitch is going to get delivered. This one's cued off the end of the bat, but Segura stays alive. Gene Segura is one of those guys that normally puts bat on ball. Again, he was a 300 hitter when he was in Seattle, still 277 with 10 bombs, 33 RBI, 58 strikeouts, and 25 walks. So he is a guy that's going to make contact, and he's a guy that Rob Thomson can trust when Alec Bohm is at first base right now, that if you want to put on a hit and run, even at the 1-2 count, I would be not too afraid to do so. Now Vierling is going to be on deck. So 1-2 pitch is going to be delivered by Valdez. The hook, and he just got a piece of it somehow and stays alive. So pitch number 25 upcoming here for Framber Valdez. So who do you guys got tonight? That's what I got in the YouTube chat section. Part of it's pretty easy. Are the Astros winning the World Series tonight, or are you going to pick the Philadelphia Phillies to force Game 7? I'm going to watch all alongside with you. I'm broadcasting on Twitter Spaces if you want clear audio, and then on the YouTube side, as I see you guys jumping in and out, following along. Yes, we do live in different time zones. So I'm on the Eastern time zone in the United States, so I don't know what it is out there over for you, but right now it's only, I would imagine, like 8:28 p.m. Eastern, so hopefully everybody's not too crazy with the time zones. 1-2, good look there by Segura as he spits on that pitch, and now it's 2-2. Alec Bohm has kind of been anchored to first base right now. He's not going anywhere. That could have been maybe something he could have gotten, but Maldonado, good backstop there, able to block things. I know Maldonado was getting a little bit long in the tooth, but as far as his defense, that's what he's known for. And that's why you have Christian Vazquez in the DH and Maldonado catching batting ninth. I think that's probably a good decision there for Dusty Baker because they tried David Hensley there a couple times. It just hasn't worked. They haven't got anything out of their DH spots. So might as well use Vazquez. 2-2. Big time hook, and Segura is going to get caught looking at a beautiful hook there. That was a hammer from hell. And now it's 2 outs. That was a beauty at the top of the strike zone. Oh, no problem with that. You can throw whatever comments you want on there. You've been supporting everything else. So I understand with all that stuff going on, it's always going to be a problem with the country and all that, especially Russia and Ukraine. That's never going to, I don't know how that's ever going to stop. And hopefully it does. I feel bad for the people fighting over there. Matt Vierling, 167 in the postseason with 1 RBI, 0 for 2 in this series. So Vierling's numbers, 25 years of age, 6 bombs, 32 RBI, 23 walks, 70 strikeouts. Good speed and defense. That's what he brings you there. So you could always throw him in the center field spot, and you feel pretty comfortable with that side of it. But maybe they're thinking with the soft tosser and Valdez, and Vierling maybe has a chance to get a hold of the curveball, or just that was a little bit of change that Rob Thomson wanted to do to try to jumpstart his lineup, inserting Vierling 8 and Sosa 9. See, now that was a pitch that was on the borderline, and that did not get the call. So I think so far, if I were to say so, just, let's see, 5 outs to begin this game, that at least 3 of them for Philadelphia and at least 2 of them for Houston. That's just 3 on that side, so that's bad. A little inconsistent tonight as far as that strike zone. So these hitters, if the pitch is close, they've got to be ready to swing. Those robot strike zones, they're testing that in AA and AAA. I don't think we're going to see that in the major leagues just yet, but I also would say it's probably coming. So 2-0. Good job there by Vierling to lay off, as Valdez wasn't even close with the sinker, and I don't think he intended to miss by that much. Now it's 3-0. So Edmundo Sosa, the number 9 batter, is going to be waiting on deck. So Alec Bohm is at first. He's been stuck there the last couple outs here because his single got things started, and we've been waiting here pretty much. So this lineup might get a chance to turn over here, top of the second. Vierling's going to take it all the way and draws the walk, even though that was right on the black with the sinker right in the box. So again, inconsistent strike zone, and I feel like heads will boil and attitudes will spill over here as far as what's considered. And again, that's not just me saying it. I'm trying to deliver all this stuff, and I've already seen that in between the Houston and Philadelphia side. We're in the top of the second, so look out for that. Edmundo Sosa taking his warm-up swings, and he took a home run cut there. He's waiting for Maldonado to dig back in behind the dish. Valdez kind of shaking things out right now. It's pitch number 30 here with an inning and 2 outs, inning and 2/3. Sosa, 333, 2 for 6 in the World Series right now. Runners scored position, 2 outs, started 3 for 3. Ever since they're 0 for 15, so Philadelphia's got to find a way to get things going. And anyway, it doesn't matter what it is: walks, bunt, base hit, duck snort, any of that kind of stuff. Get something going. Sosa will slam this one just foul. It's going to be 0-1 against Edmundo. So if he does reach, this is going to put you back to the situation where you go back to the top of the order with Kyle Schwarber. And Kyle Schwarber has had some opportunities, if Sosa does reach here, where he's got guys on base, and the last couple times he hasn't delivered, except for that solo shot against Justin Verlander. Man to go. Sosa gets the hook. He got it near his hands, still driven near the warning track, and he's going to catch it there. Is Yordan Alvarez. That was near Sosa's foot, near his right foot, and he drifted the curveball all the way to the warning track, and he pushed Yordan Alvarez to the wall. I couldn't quite believe it myself, but we are going to the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless. That was close. Again, I will change these questions periodically, and I will also update the box score every start of a new inning there, so you can follow along just in case you guys are jumping in. My name is John Ott. I'm going to be doing the play-by-play here for you this evening on the YouTube side. Again, I can't show the game during the broadcast rights, but still, I will do the full play-by-play for you on hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. That's going to be where the game stories are going to be. That's where the blog is. That's where the broadcast, all that stuff is. You can find that on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. So I'm going to have full coverage, as always. So I appreciate anyone else that joins in. If you want clear audio, you can follow me at John Ott. I'm also broadcasting on Twitter Spaces if you want to get in, leave some comments, or talk about the game. If Cooper Hopkins does join me, then we'll get a chance to get a two-man broadcast booth going. I know his hockey game for Calgary Flames and the New Jersey Devils doesn't start until 10 Eastern, so I imagine I'll probably catch up to him at some point. So when we do start the bottom of the second inning, it's going to be 4, 5, and 6 for the Houston Astros. Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, and Christian Vazquez. Again, lineup's going to look a little bit different here for Dusty Baker as well, because Christian Vazquez is going to be the DH, and Trey Mancini is going to be at first. Yuli Gurriel, the last game, he was injured, caught in a rundown in between home and third. I don't know if it was in the back of the neck side or one of the hands or something that was stretched out. They were saying he was going to get treatment and see if he could actually go in this game, but it was deemed that he could not. Maybe he'll be available for Game 7. I didn't think it was anything too serious, but the way the Astros have been going, the way that this has been in between being a pitcher's duel at times, I think it'll be okay there. So you put Christian Vazquez at the DH instead of David Hensley or Aledmus Diaz. They're just not getting anything on that spot, so I think it makes sense to put him at 6 and put Maldonado catching at 9th per usual. If it does get to Game 7, I'll throw this out there in the sense of it's probably going to be Christian Javier at some point on 3 days rest, and then Rangers Suarez as well. But again, Philadelphia's got to win to force Game 7. If Houston wins, they lift the Commissioner's Trophy tonight. So Alex Bregman's going to dig in as we get back in the official action. And 99 splits the plate, and Bregman takes it for a strike. So Alex Bregman, 28 years of age, 259 batting average, 23 bombs, and 93 RBI. As he hits this one off the fist, this is going to go a chance for Sosa as he guns over, throws the first there to Hoskins. 1 up, 1 down for Wheeler here in the bottom of the second. We are still scoreless, and again, once we get to the bottom half of the inning and turn this around again. I will update the box score on the YouTube side. I appreciate everyone that's jumping in on the YouTube side. It's already been very active, and I'll change those questions there periodically as well. If you want clearer audio, because I know the webcam kind of is so-so on that side of it, you can go on Twitter Spaces at John Ryan Ott. I got the handle in the comments section. So now this will bring up King Tuck. Kyle Tucker, again, he was pretty much the hero in game one, even though Philadelphia came back after trailing down 5-0. Tucker hit 2 bombs and he hit a single at 4 RBI. And now he's going to show bunt on Wheeler. That's a surprise as he follows that one off. There could have been a fundamental shift there on third base. We're just trying to catch Wheeler sleeping there a little bit. But again, for as good as Kyle Tucker is, again, not also being able to just steal bases too with 25, you have Bregman and you have Tucker in the 4-5 spot. You're in the 5th spot in the order right now. You got to decide between Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker if you're going to be able to keep all those guys and get them signed. I imagine that Houston's going to be able to do that, but that's a lot of money they're going to have to allocate. But those guys are really a trifecta of your core, as probably Jose Altuve soon will be on his way out. Michael Brantley with the injury probably on his way out. Jeremy Pena effectively replaced Carlos Correa this year with the same type of numbers. So you get that a lot cheaper option, which will allow you to be able to sign guys like Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker. Perfect pitch near the bottom right corner, and that one's called a strike. So Wheeler, efficient early here. World Series Game 2 velocity at about 99 when he was averaging probably about 96. So it is up a couple ticks, and that's the extra heartbeat and everything else with the nerves right now. Who knows? 1-2 pitch being delivered by Wheeler. Way out of the zone there with the fastball. And Tucker's got nothing to do but just dig his cleats in the dirt and wait on the 2-2. So this will be pitch number 14 upcoming for Wheeler. So he's been efficient so far through an inning and 2/3. As Caleb caught him as the pitching coach, and I almost said Gotham. If you had a G there, that would be what it would say. So picked up now by Tucker, and he just cues that one nicely up into the bat. Maybe that was just another one he saw just to cue that off. He knew he couldn't get a piece of it, so he's going to make Wheeler throw more pitches. So the bunt, I wasn't quite sure about what Tucker was doing, but that kind of cue I actually like because, hey, a foul's a foul. It's not a bunt there. He's just trying to get a piece, make Wheeler throw some more pitches. So 2-2. For Kyle Tucker, the number 5 batter in the lineup for Dusty Baker's squad. Going to get delivered by Wheeler now as he gets a sign from Realmuto. This is smoked, but just foul. And that might have hit the foul pole if that was like 4 inches to the left. That was awfully close. He had some timing there. Tucker put the hands in. I think he was just early as he lasered that one down the right field line. That looked like a curveball. And we'll do this again. 2-2. Still for Tucker. Batting .222 in the World Series. Wheeler gets the sign from Realmuto. I think they want to put the 2 down there. That's normally the knuckle curve. We'll see if they switch the signs. And they went with some kind of sinker there. That was not a pure fastball. And that was just outside. Now it's a full counter for Kyle Tucker. So his numbers are always really good. 257 in the regular season, 30 home runs, 107 RBI, 95 strikeouts, 59 walks, 25 stolen bases here for Tucker. We'll see what they do on the full count. You really don't necessarily want to walk this guy, but you also can't hang a pitch because he can definitely make you pay. Full count pitch on the way for Tucker. And that was a fastball that caught the upper reaches of the box, and Tucker sent that one flying on the left field line. And now it's an 8-pitch at bat. That's exactly what you want. Wheeler's kind of cruising there through first. And again, not to say you couldn't do that through the second, but you can at least get him to the average point of closer to 30 pitches if Kyle Tucker can continue to do some damage. He's at 17 right now. About to see pitch number 9 in this at bat. Full count pitch again on the way for the 4th time. Wheeler get the sign in there from Realmuto. We'll see what they want to do now. Fastball again by Tucker. This one he was a little late on 98. And Wheeler's going to have to do it again. So Wheeler is one of those guys that can throw you a multitude of pitches. And you might have to show him the kitchen sink right now because Wheeler's got a 4-seam, a slider, a sinker, a curve, and a changeup. From 81 to 95, but Wheeler seems to be throwing up a tick right now. He's up to the 98, 99 range. So whatever it is, or whether he's laying off for the World Series or laying it all out right now in a possible elimination game for Philadelphia. And he looks good. And they're showing Tucker in the batting stance. He does a lot of shifting on there with that right leg. Try to keep everything all set. A lot of stuff to tinker with. And that's a gorgeous at-bat there by Tucker as he draws a 10-pitch walk. That's exactly how you want to do it. And that'll bring up Christian Vazquez. He's batting number 6 in the order right now. He's the DH tonight for Dusty Baker's squad. That was awfully close. That was a gorgeous take, and that was a perfect at-bat by Kyle Tucker. There really is nothing else that can be said at that point. What's going on, Sean? How are you doing, buddy? You got so many different accounts and so many different pictures. I know it's always you, but I always see a different name around it. So, DH struggles. Trey Mancini 0 for 16. Yordan 3 of 11. Olin Diaz 1 for 10. And David Hensley 2 for 7. You might as well put Christian Vazquez in that spot. Makes a lot of sense there because I would think he is the best hitter they got, even though he's usually the backup catcher. Just give it a chance. You got to be able to do something like that. So you got Tucker at first after he just drew a 10-pitch walk. Did you do any other broadcasting today? I saw with Patrick, or you might have been on the call for the Michigan State game. So Vazquez, dig in now. This one almost went off his hands, I think. But he offered at it, so that's not going to matter. It's going to be strike one count. That looked like that might have actually hit him. Oh, so he came back and bit him. That was Vazquez fouled it off and he hit it right off the knee. That can't feel good on that side of it. But again, it doesn't matter whether you're a DH or catcher on that side of it. You're always getting nicked and bruised up a little bit. So 0-1, going to be set to deliver here for Wheeler. It's going to be pitch number 21. So pitch count steadily climbing, but it's getting more toward that average because he just breezed to the first. It was Tucker with the 10-pitch at bat that kind of extended it right now. As you got Tucker at first, 1 out, Vazquez up right now. Perfect fastball, 97 mile an hour, but I should watch when I say perfect because the strike zone's been a little inconsistent. Not inside, outside, but up and down. There you might have some situations where, again, that you've seen throughout the broadcast, or you'll hear me talk about, where it's been very inconsistent. Some of these batters have been a little upset by what they've seen. So 0-2, and I'm going to check your comments in a second there, Sean. 0-2 on its way from Wheeler. This is going to be tailor-made. Vazquez doesn't run well, and that's a tailor-made double play. So Wheeler, he had to make a couple extra pitches, but he's still 22 through 2 as they get the tailor-made double play. And we're scoreless through 2. Come right back.
And some long knees, strong like a tongue squeeze. You'll say, oh, geez.
That's your current one right now? Let me see if okay, I'm making sure that I already followed that. So I know you got the football game on Fireside with Frankie. You're doing Bills Jets. I mean, that's good on your side because I couldn't do anything football, even with the play-by-play and all the stuff that I do. I just don't know enough about the NFL to be able to even do color and things like that either. I know some people won't believe it, but it's the truth. I'm confident when it comes to NHL, NBA, and baseball, but I couldn't do anything for football. The only thing I could do is write the story.
With its amazing camera at T-Mobile. Just switch to T-Mobile and you can get iPhone 14 with Apple TV Plus included and so much more.
All right, man. We'll see you. Appreciate you hanging on the YouTube side there, Marple. Have a good one. All right, just updated the box score on the YouTube side. Not much going on right now. So after 2 innings, we're still scoreless. Couple double plays, one for the Astros, one for the Phillies. As Zach Wheeler was just able to induce one to get Tucker and Vazquez out at second and first respectively. And that's where we are right now, is we're scoreless through 2. And I'll make sure as I go along, I'll change the question probably in a couple innings. I see they're still getting some active votes, so I don't want to change that just yet. and then I'll go ahead and copy some of my other notes if that comes through.
Get free Doritos Locos Tacos only on the app now by signing up for Taco Bell Rewards. And join our fans as they use Kyle Schwarber's World Series steal to run up the score on free tacos. Steal a bag, steal a taco.
So in the comments section, if you guys are jumping in on YouTube, I don't know if everyone always uses the comment section or not, but I see you guys are heavily bouncing in there, so I appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this World Series so far. Do you think it's been a pretty competitive one? It's been a good one? Because I think over the last couple games, it's kind of delved into what I saw in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. What I mean is the games have been tight. There's been a couple mistakes here or there, but I mean, it's been a tight, competitive game. Good defense, good hitting there, good pitching, and the pitching's kind of nullified some of the hitting there. But you would expect, I would think, with the day off and the extra day there for Philadelphia, they kind of right the ship. So we're going to go back to the top of the order here. Philadelphia's are back underneath the action right now. As Valdez puts a knuckle curve in the dirt. And I'll scroll back up into my initial lineup. So it'll be Schwarber, Hoskins, and Realmuto. Uno dos tres here in the top of the third as we are scoreless. Valdez's pitch count's a little bit higher. It's at 33 as we're just starting as he's through 2 innings. But again, nothing of much concern just yet. Good job by Schwarber. He got froze in the fastball, but he had to actually kind of jump out of the way of it. I don't think there was any way to be able to swing at it. So for Kyle Schwarber, I will say this. In between all the Phillies that have struggled over the last 18 innings, only getting 2 runs in the last 18 innings, and if you're doing the math at home, that's 1 run a game. His at-bats, he might not have always made contact, but he will draw walks, and he's going to do what a leadoff man's supposed to do, try to get on base and make something happen. That was a fastball that caught a lot of the plate, but Schwarber kind of spit on it there. This time I didn't see him demonstratively shake his head, so I think that was his plan. He was kind of thinking it was going to be a knuckle curve or a sinker in the dirt. But normally if Schwarber doesn't do something that he doesn't like, you will see him shake his head and kind of talk to himself. 2-1. Again, that's another good pitch by Valdez, a sinker toward the bottom of the box on the black, and now it's 2-2. So Schwarber's going to have to dig in here, but Schwarber's done a good job of that so far throughout any of his at-bats. Whether he strikes out or not, he's always kind of extended at-bats and try to set the tone. So Rob Thomson led the Phillies to their World Series appearance since 2009. And again, now he got punched out because the sinker caught the right side of the black there on the box. So Valdez pounded the strike zone over the last 3 pitches, and I guess Kyle Schwarber was looking for something else because he didn't want to swing at any of them. So that time I was just giving compliments to Kyle Schwarber, and I think I sent him the jinx because I don't know what he was waiting for. Even if it was going to just bite you and go right to Altuve or Pena for an out, throw over to first, I think you got to take it anyway. Swing at it. He's got the power. So Hoskins, he gets frozen by the sinker that caught a lot of the plate. And we'll do this again. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing, man? Everybody's bouncing around the Twitter Spaces. It's been active. It's been active on the YouTube side. Anybody that you're rooting for in particular today? What do you got going on in this game? What do you feel about these teams? Hopefully enjoy the World Series, college football, all that stuff today. So 1-1 count as Hoskins will dig in there. He's got some words to the umpire, and we got some weird sounds going on in the local Fox broadcast. Hopefully that fixes itself. So 1-1 count as Hoskins waits on the Valdez pitch. That's a knuckle curve. Couldn't get Hoskins to swing at it. It's 2-1 now. And again, one of those situations where Schwarber had some of those opportunities to swing, and he did not. He just punched out. And it's sinker, perfect location. So here's what I will say. If Valdez continues to dot that sinker that he's showing in the 3rd inning in the same spot, you just got to be ready to swing. He might try to entice you to get some knuckle curves or whatever and get out in front, but he's just trying to induce you into a ground ball, and you got to fight your way through it, hit through the hole. So knuckle curve on the inside and toward the hands, and Hoskins works the count full. John Ott here with you, watching on the local Fox feed of Game 6 of the World Series. Almost tongue-tied myself. As Hoskins, this eats up Bregman, but they're going to say that it's foul. So again, this is the second time, I should say, Second inning, it actually ate up Bregman, but it was called foul. And then again, it was a wicked hop. I'm going to take another look at it right now. Man, that almost was identical, as John Smoltz was saying, toward that right side of the white line, as close as you could get, but still foul. So Bregman had a couple tough plays there. I don't blame him for banking that one off his glove, but that was foul. As Hoskins knew he could have had a base hit, came that close, probably about a width of a fingernail. Not even exaggerating on that side. So full count pitch underway here for Hoskins. Game coverage is going to be at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com once this is all done, courtesy of the recorder side of it too. So there won't be any extraneous stuff like when I'm talking outside of it. It'll just be the game stuff here. So Hoskins will dig back out of the box, wait for an extra beat. Now Valdez, that's a cook. That is a curve that was cooked right down the middle of the strike zone that should have been punished. So Schwarber and Hoskins take two pitches that they really should have done damage on. But if you're from Valdez, I guess you take it. I don't know what else to tell you here. So that's going to bring up JT Realmuto. You don't want to get camera shy right now, because I just don't know how you don't swing at that. If that's Bryce Harper after JT Realmuto, if he reaches on, you throw that pitch, I think that's going to be orbited, but that's just me. So number 3 batter, JT Realmuto, and the hook misses just outside, about 5 feet. And Realmuto's got the count in his favor, 1-0. John Ott with you for Game 6 of the World Series on the local Fox feed. Thank you for jumping in on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side here tonight. 1-0 pitch, waiting on Realmuto. Hits this one down the third baseline, foul, and now it's 1-1. So for Valdez, again, not all things concerned, but he's about to throw pitch number 47 through 3. So I know old timers will laugh at that back in the day. You know, you're going to go 7, 8 innings, no problem. These guys probably will top out at 6. I'm not saying right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just telling you the pitch count. Fastball way out of the zone. 2-1 now for Realmuto as it's inflated in his favor. If he gets on, Bryce Harper would be next. From Valdez, 5'11", 239, 28 years old, out of Palenque of the Dominican Republic. He has been the Houston Astros' best pitcher here. You can say that as far as Game 6 and leading across, you know you're going to get a solid 6 from him at least. 2-1 pitch, again, sinker right in the strike zone, and the Phillies don't want to swing at it. It's been thrown in the same spot where I would say if the box is here, it's right in the middle on this side where you still have a whole other width of a couple baseballs, and they just don't want to swing at it. So 2-2. Towels waving right now at Minute Maid. Trying to get Framber Valdez through a scoreless third. Hook, and Realmuto is going fishing. Striking out the side is Framber Valdez. We'll go to the bottom of the third, scoreless. If my power goes out, because I'm under a wind advisory, I think it's going to end in about 20 minutes. But I think we should be okay here. So I'm glad this game did not start at 7 because the lights were flickering over here in Michigan. But it is a possibility, so I just want to throw that out there. I will try to jump back on as soon as I can. I know I will lose everybody if the power goes out, but really there's nothing I can do at that point. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to look at the ESPN box score too, just to give you a clarification as far as we got, because I know Valdez got more. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's only given up 1 hit through 3 innings of work. So Framber Valdez, he's doing the work right now. I'm going to go ahead and type this in the box. So and I'm going to preface this and put this in parentheses. I'm not going to send it out yet, but I'll get everything together on the box score side of it. So I just see the lights flashing now, so I'm getting a little concerned. The wind advisory is supposed to dumb down here in about 15 minutes. They said it was only supposed to be through 9 Eastern. We're just about to hit 9 Eastern on my side, so I hope the power doesn't go out.
Okay, coming in, and I got these claws. I'm climbing the wall now.
If you're making a sci-fi movie, you need to finish the special effects.
Something good.
And if you want to save
I'm also going to give you a scoring reset, not just through this game, but across, because we got a lot of games going on. Maybe we can get you a top 25 football, some NHL stuff, some NBA. I'm not going to go through all the football scores and be able to get to them all. They're showing a lot of cardiasada steak on the Houston side of it right now, making me hungry. I'm going to have to get something to eat when this game is done. Also need some caffeine to get a lot of sleep either. So due up right now for the Houston Astros is the bottom of the order. Zach Wheeler trying to get through the order and through the side the first time through. He was aided by a double play. It was Kyle Tucker drawing the 10-pitch walk. That's been the only base runner right now for Wheeler on that side of it. So Trey Mancini 0 for 6 in the World Series right now. Again, 176, 8 home runs, 22 RBI since coming over from Baltimore in that trade. And the reason why Mancini is playing right now is because Yuli Gurriel got hurt in Game 5, getting caught in a rundown in between third base and home. And honestly, too, I would say this in the first base side of it, where he would only be a DH where Vazquez is tonight. There's not any room to actually work with on the DH side for the Astros. They're getting nothing out of it. So you got Mancini at first for the injured Gurriel and the DH for Christian Vazquez, I think, because Dusty Baker's got to try something because nothing's working on that side of it. So 1-2 is the count against Trey Mancini now. Again, Zach Wheeler has been pretty good right now, but he's going to try to match a little bit what Framber Valdez just did when he struck out the side. 98 just on the black, and you would think for as inconsistent as the strike zone has been that he might get the luxury of that call. He did not. It was 98 near the top left corner of the box. And we'll do it again at 2-2. Gets a sign from Realmuto and nods. He rocks and delivers. This one in off the hands. Trey Mancini is going to take a long walk down the first base side. I think he might need a new piece of lumber. Might have broke that a little bit toward the sweet spot. And we'll do it again. So as he needs a new bat, Fox is going to go ahead and pay some bills on the side-by-side with the Geico side. I appreciate you guys following along with me on the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side right now. Again, I can't show you the full game or anything like that because we'll be off of YouTube in a second. But I will get a situation where I can give you the full play-by-play. I appreciate you guys following along. 2-2 is the count now against Mancini. Again, trying to be 7-8-9 in the order. Wheeler. That was smoked down the right field line, and Castellanos just watched it drop in front of him. It was 99 right in on the hands, and Trey Mancini gets his first hit of the World Series, and every single Astros player is up on that dugout with wry smiles on their faces and clapping their hands. Because I think they know what Trey Mancini can bring. And again, I think they know from the battle from colon cancer and all that stuff, he's one of the all-around good guys in Major League Baseball, alongside with Dusty Baker, when you would say everyone else on the Houston Astros side, whether I know that there's fans of the team or not, there's certain things that you like that happened and that you didn't like that happened. But Mancini and Baker, those are the guys that you want to get a World Series for. Especially Baker the first time as a manager and Mancini the first time period. Because Dusty Baker's got one as a player. Chas McCormick is batter number 8. 245, age 27, 14 bombs, 44 RBI, 106 strikeouts, 46 walks, elite defense. And if Houston does win this game, I will have some things I have to mention at the end of it, but I think you'll be looking at a dynasty nonetheless if you already are or not, whether or not you agree. So 1-0, McCormick in off the hands, and he might need a new bat. Wheeler is breaking bats with the cutter right now, in on the hands. And they're showing Chas McCormick with his gorgeous catch with 1 out in the 9th when he robbed JT Realmuto of at least a double, maybe a triple. So after the Houston Astros outfield, Chas McCormick made the catch and fell back on the warning track. They snapped the picture and got his jersey and everything else all implemented with the indents in the dirt. That looks pretty cool on the Fox side. If you guys are following along, that was a really cool photo there. So 1-1. The count against McCormick now as he gets a chance to dig back in. Zach Wheeler, he's about to throw pitch number 31. Again, trying to work his way through the bottom of the order for the first time all the way around. 1-1, delivered by Wheeler now. And that was a fastball that blew away McCormick, and now it's 1-2. So 0-0 is still your score. Zach Wheeler has to deal with the runner at first and Trey Mancini. They got a solid base hit that Castellanos had to plan a hop. And we're really just underway here. As in the bottom of the third. Wheeler's gone through 2 scoreless innings. Valdez has gone through 2 scoreless innings. And they're going to chance to look at the chop, and they're showing Trey Mancini in the center with the Florida Gator, I don't know, for whatever reason on that side. That confuses me, but that's one of the signs there. Florida, but we're in Houston and Philadelphia. I don't know. So chance for Chas McCormick is now it's 2-2. Chas is the sign. Some of the kids love Chas McCormick. How could you not after that catch? For you're an Astros fan, for sure. Waiting on the 2-2 pitch is McCormick. This one is way low with the knuckle curve and blocked nicely there by JT Realmuto. So we'll see right now if Trey Mancini is going to go with the full count pitch. As a lot of the fans have this catch there on a piece of paper there. I kind of like that one. That was a good shot there by the Houston Chronicle. So before, and I'll say this in the first inning, in Game 5, it was Pena and Yordan Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez struck out and Pena got thrown on a strike him out, throw him out. We'll see if Dusty Baker is going to have enough gall to do that right now in the bottom of the third with no outs. McCormick, he got sawed off, and this could be a double play, but Segura's got to hurry. And he couldn't get a feed on the transfer there of the sawed off at bat. That is the third straight bat that had damage right now. Is another cutter saws off the Houston Astros. You can't make this stuff up, folks. The bat went farther than the ball. And honestly, I'm not going to go ahead and blame Gene Segura for not being able to turn that one, because the handle of the bat probably he had to keep his eye on that one to make sure that didn't hit him in the face before he could feel the ball. So they do get the out at second on Mancini, but McCormick is at first with Martin Maldonado batting ninth and due up next. So, man, he's broken 3 bats over the last 2 batters. So Zach Wheeler has indeed been nasty. So it's going to bring up Maldonado. Again, he is routinely the catcher, and he has to be now because Christian Vazquez is a DH. Unless you want to go with Corey Lee, I think he's still on the 40-man roster. He's supposed to be a beast of a young catcher upcoming, but he's probably not ready for the World Series movement, what they have right now. So Maldonado, 35, 186 in the regular season. He's batting 231 in the World Series, 222 in the postseason. So numbers are a little bit better there, but that just equates for what I saw, 3 of 22 on one of his last sides. So splits aren't that good, but again, he's a catcher that's got good defense. That's what you care about. If you can hit around the Mendoza line at 200, that's what you want. Sinker inside. And Maldonado didn't want to get his piece of wood sawed in half. Just like all the other batters here, there's been 3 broken bats over the last 2 batters. So 1-1. As Wheeler is featuring that cutter, and John Smoltz just talked about it. That's where you're getting those broken at bats. He's featuring that cutter, and he's pretty nasty with it right now, Zach Wheeler. But his pitch count starting to grow a little bit, as it's at 37 upcoming here with 1-1 count. Maldonado out of first. Chas McCormick is at first. This is going to be too slow to turn a double play, and Bohm is going to get it just in time. Maldonado can't run well, and if he ran any more, he probably would have tweaked the hamstring there. That was a good play there by Bohm nonetheless. He knew he had time. He did have to charge the ball, so I'm not going to make a mistake about it and say it wasn't a good defensive play. It was, because it was hit right on the hands. Bohm had no other play but the charge. There was no way he was going to be able to get McCormick at second. And Maldonado doesn't run all that well, but that was a good feed and throw, and Hoskins was able to keep his left foot on the first base bag. So now it's 2 outs for the Houston Astros, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Jose Altuve. We are scoreless right now, in the bottom of the third. That's what we're trying to get there right now, as we finally hit the top of the order again in Jose Altuve. Strikeout in the first. 0-0 is your score. Altuve takes a fastball high from Zach Wheeler, and now it's ball 1. So Altuve struggled a little bit in the postseason, but in the regular season so far, 300 batting average with 28 bombs, 57 RBI, 87 strikeouts, 66 walks. He is a flat-out beast, nonetheless. And he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer as long as he can get qualified to get in there. I would definitely say that. You know how good he is and how good he's always been. Buzzer or not. So 2-0, as 2 fastballs have missed way out of the zone, and I don't know if that was actually on purpose there by Wheeler, but you really don't want to deal with Jeremy Pena on deck. So I imagine Altuve, again, he's hitting in the low 100s as far as his average in the World Series stuff. So 2-0, Altuve might swing out of his shoes, might get a pitch he likes, might just take a ball there, but he's got a good hitting count, good leverage, see if he can make something happen with that. And that's a perfect fastball. Definition of perfect is that was split the middle toward the left side of the black of the box. So straight down the middle, all the way toward the left, right on the black. And that was just a perfect pitch at 98. So they said that Wheeler's velocity has been around 95. He's been hovering about 98, 99. So it's been up by more than just a couple ticks. There's a win on the 2-1, and so is the Altuve. Another fastball, 97. And that one was a little bit more meteor to hit near the bottom left corner of the box, and now it goes to 2-2. John Ott here with you. We're watching Game 6 of the World Series on the local Fox coverage. Again, I can't show the stuff on the YouTube side, but I humbly appreciate you guys bouncing in and out. If you want clear audio, you can follow along at John Ott on Twitter Spaces. I'm broadcasting on that side if you want clear audio or interact with me. So 2-2. It's McCormick at second with Altuve at the dish. Fastball, fouled back at 98. Hopefully we're going to be away with the wind advisory here in Michigan about another 15 minutes or so. So hopefully the power does not go out, because I don't want to lose everybody and then also lose the broadcast of this game right now, as we are scoreless. Trying to get through 3 innings. Zach Wheeler is dealing with Jose Altuve right now. About to throw pitch number 43 as Altuve is going to get set to check back into the box. Wheeler gets the sign from Realmuto and now delivers. Swing and a miss on the fastball. And Wheeler leaves McCormick at second. After 3 innings, we are still scoreless. Come right back.
Capital One, because it gives us unlimited 2% cash back on everything we buy. And it has no preset spending limit, so our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. We use our 2% cash back to help cover our employees' healthcare costs. That's how we take care of most. Okay, so I just updated the box through 3. I got the pitching line through 3 so far for Fromber, Valdez, and Zach Wheeler. How does this sound to you? Fromber, Valdez, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. Wheeler, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. So these pitchers are dealing right now. Again, I also have handles if you want to follow between Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTube side. It's at John Ott. The Instagram is at TBU Gunslinger. Appreciate anyone that's jumped in between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. So now Sean said they're not doing the call for the football game. That's unfortunate.
Just checking to see if anyone else is actually doing this game. And nobody is covering the World Series on Colorcast. Come on, guys. You'd think somebody would. Well, I'm on the Twitter Spaces side and on the YouTube side. So, again, I appreciate you guys jumping in and out. If Cooper Hopkins does jump in here with me, then we will definitely get this call.
Breakfast croissant plus seasoned potatoes for $3 and decoration.
It's just a standard work shirt. Hey,
Let's stay humble, man.
thank you, Rich.
So right now in our YouTube question, we got 13 votes, so I appreciate it. It's been active on this side. I said, are the Astros winning the World Series tonight? 77% of you say yes, 23% of you say no. I'm going to leave that up a little bit because that one's been active. Set to dig back in. We are in the fourth inning of a scoreless game right now as Bryce Harper swings out of his shoes on the knuckle curb side of it. It's 0-1. So it's going to be Harper, Castellanos, and Alec Bohm as we go in through right now. Again, if you guys want to like or dislike this, I appreciate that. I know it's been kind of bouncing in and out there. I don't hold any punches. You guys do whatever you want to do. I humbly appreciate you following along. As this one's a little bit high there with the cutter. It's 1-1 now. So Tom Verducci talking about Bryce Harper as he's stepping up to the dish right now. And again, you always have to because this guy is an immediate danger threat. He is the one guy you don't want to make a mistake to right now when the rest of the Phillies have been cold. 1-1 pitch, and that is a gorgeous knuckle curve. I call it the bottom reaches of the box at 84 as it splits the plate 1-2 against Bryce. So Bryce, his numbers in the regular season a little bit down, 286, 18 home runs, 65 RBI, but only because of the injuries. He won the MVP last year in the National League. It's the second time he's done so. 1-2 pitches, he's waiting on the hook. It is bouncing off of Maldonado, and they're going to need to have a new baseball. If there was a situation where there was a runner on base, you could have had something good there with a runner in second. But it is just 4, 5, 6 part of the order here. Harper, Castellanos, and Bohm due up in the top of the fourth. 14 of 22 plate appearances. Harper's had to deal with it with the bags empty. And that's not what you want for your cleanup guy. This guy's got to do this help in front of him, set the table so you can finish it off and eat. It's pretty much what it lays down to. So Valdez taking a little extra beat here as he's touching the rosin bag, touching his cap, touching the top of the head. As Harper will get a chance to dig back in now. It's going to be pitch number 54 right now for Valdez. Valdez rocks and delivers, and he's got Harper on the inside with a fastball. Nothing Bryce could do with that. It's 6 strikeouts for Valdez as he's been lethal. Again, he's had that sweat working on since the beginning of this game. It was a beautiful fastball split there with the 2 fingers. And he just got to sink inside there. So some kind of cutting fastball on the inside that had a ton of movement. Bryce, he tried to power through it, but there was no way he had a chance to actually get to it. I'm sorry on the comment side of it that I do not speak Spanish. But if we do have anything else for English translation, or I can just throw that on the Google side of it, I will do so and look at your comments. Castellanos up next, batting 5 in the order here for Rob Thompson's squad. 263, 13 bombs, 62 RBI in the regular season. Again, Castellanos been a little quiet here in the World Series. He's already down 0-2. It was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 194 in the postseason with 7 RBI, but one of those situations for Framber Valdez that he knows that he can get Castellanos possibly again on a strikeout. And for Castellanos, if it wasn't for some of his defense, this series could already be over because he was pretty much saving game 1 where JT Realmuto hit the bottom of the top of the 10th for the Philadelphia Phillies to get that comeback in game 1, 6-5. 97.4 on the sinker to strike out Schwarber was the fastest pitch of the season. So you can tell both these pitchers are amped up. He's running around 95, and Wheeler's running around 95 at 97 and 99 respectively. Castellanos a little bit foul there, as Bregman would have had another tough play, but this one was way foul. So all he had to do was give that one a look. Still 0-2 against Nicholas Castellanos. So Valdez already has strict 6 strikeouts through 3 1/3. Zach Wheeler threw 3. He's got 2 strikeouts. Valdez has 2 walks. Wheeler has 1 walk. Valdez's range right now is 97 with the upper reaches and 70 with the low. So that's good speed differential and split. 19 miles an hour will do you. That's pretty good. Picking back up now, 0-2. This one almost hit Castellanos as he had to just watch this one, and he's going to go back, touch the batting gloves, and get all set up right now. John Ott here with you. Watch on the local Fox feed right now. It's Game 6 of the World Series. What's at stake? Houston wins this one. They win the Commissioner's Trophy. Philadelphia wins this one. We play Game 7 at 8:05 Eastern tomorrow. And if we do, I will be right back on the call on YouTube and Twitter Spaces side. So Valdez now gets the sign, and he agrees with Maldonado after shaking him out a couple times. And pitch number 59 for Castellanos. And now Castellanos says, you guys are taking too damn long. I'm going to step back out of the box here and get settled back in. So 1-2 will still be the count against Nicholas Castellanos. Again, what at least is coming up is Alec Bohm. He'll be due up next. Pitch number 59 from Valdez. Knuckle curve. Castellanos did not go. He thought about it there for a second, but smartly put the bat back. I like the inside of that covering there for Castellanos. He's got that Schwarber color on the inside with the red helmet. Get a chance to get a little bit extra shielding and protection just in case it hits right up in the ear, which a lot of these guys have now. Some of these guys have the dual flaps. Now, if it was me up to the bat rack, I'd be having every kind of protection with all the stuff with the knees, stuff with the ears. I don't want to get hit with the baseball at all. And if I did have to get hit, I'd hope it'd be an off-speed pitch near the back and nothing else. 2-2 is the pitch. This pitch number 60 is going to get delivered from Valdez. Castellanos, couple practice swings as he digs in. Cues it just foul as he got a piece of that from the shoe tops. And Castellanos has done a little bit of that. In between Game 1 and Game 5, some of the stuff there with Verlander, he's pretty good at going ahead and getting a ball right from the shoe tops. I'm not going to say Vlad Guerrero Sr., but one of those situations where if you put it in a situation he likes, he will reach that bat out. He can drive it either way to both the fields. Although his average hasn't been all that great, we'll see what happens, what Castellanos can do here. This one on the hands just got a piece of it. That one was rocketed to the right field line. It was about 300 feet. Foul. So that was some immense power there for a guy that I didn't think got all the baseball. Still hit it pretty damn far. 2-2 is your count. John Ott here with you on the call for Game 6 of the World Series. Glad you can join me between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. Still scoreless. We're in the top of the 4th with 1 out as the Phillies are up to bat. 2-2 pitch again being delivered by Valdez. And a great at-bat so far from Nick Castellanos. They threw the knuckle curve 3 times in the mix of the fastballs, and he's not bit on any of those. It's 14, 19, 17, and 13 pitch count by inning for Schwarber, which was a total of 63 right now. That's what's upcoming. So they've made him work to try to get him out of this game. So maybe what you're talking about, a potential 6 innings might go down to 5, and he just get a piece of it again. That was a ball. Castellanos probably didn't want to reach for it, but at least credit to him. He kept himself alive, and he's kept this lengthy at bat going. Alec Bohm still waiting on deck. Probably doesn't even take the donut off his bat right now because Castellanos is locked in. We'll see if he can make something happen on this full count pitch. This will be the 2nd time on the full count pitch, and it was the 5th time on a 2-2 as he's just been taking a ball, keeping it alive, just getting a chance to get a piece of the ball to get another pitch. As both the batter and the pitcher get set to dig in right now, they lock eyes. So are you ready to go? Castellanos looks locked in right now. We'll see if Framber Valdez can get another strikeout. Delivers to Maldonado on the full count. And he got rung up on a sinker that was inside. And Castellanos has words, and I do not blame him. I do not blame him. That was a definite ball. But as we said, I said this early through the broadcast, this strike zone's been very inconsistent, but it's been inconsistent on both sides. He got the pitch way inside, not close at all, and Castellanos gets rung up. And he worked his butt off to get back to a full count there, and he has words with the ump, and I don't blame him. because I can tell you that was at least 4 baseballs width of being a ball, and that was still called. So Alec Bohm, he's the only one that's got the hit right now for Philadelphia. He's batting 6th for Rob Thomson. As Castellanos should be on first base, but he's not right now. Hook, and that was a strike. So here's the thing. Not saying Valdez isn't pitching great. He is. But if he's getting those calls and he's also able to get these strikeouts, you know why he's having success. You think these pitchers are getting the benefit of the doubt right now on both sides, especially Valdez, as Bohm drives this one down the right field line, just the edge of the warning track. Kyle Tucker makes the catch. It's 3 up, 3 down for Framber Valdez as he's through 4. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th as we're still scoreless. So let me see if I can put your question. Obviously, I won't be able to respond to it in Spanish, but let me see if I can put your question into the Google Translate.
Indeed you do. It indeed resonates more than a resume. It makes it easy to personalize your job search and even helps the right job find you. You're willing to relocate for work? Yes.
Oh, you're saying you can't even watch the World Series on the Cuban side. And I apologize for that. I'm glad I was able to throw that in the translator. Well, you know what? I'm sorry only have an English voiceover here for you for the play-by-play, but you know what? If this helps, then I appreciate you following along with me, because sometimes with the TV rights, depending on what country you live in and things like that, things do change. So I apologize for that, but hopefully this does help. And I will be giving you the complete play-by-play, the full game story, and everything else to follow at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. You can follow me at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at John Ott, and then Instagram at TVU Gunslinger. Because I'm always covering NHL, NBA. Obviously, the MLB is going to take a back seat once this World Series is done. But NHL, NBA, and college affiliate stuff will be open. And I'm always going to bring you that coverage. As I always try to post my schedule for the week, let you know what I'm up to. It's always sports coverage for me. I worked at the Oakland Press in Pontiac, Michigan, where it was over there. Now it's in Troy, to cover local high school sports. And then with COVID and all that stuff, when that all went the other way and we all lost our jobs, then I went to the point where I'm just going to do all the same writing, but I'm going to keep it pro. I'm going to do what I like to do, whether or not people want to listen to it or not. I bring you coverage, bring you some play-by-play. I just started doing YouTube a couple months ago with all that stuff. So hopefully that continues to work out, and hopefully find an audience and people interested and like it. That's what I care about. Because I don't care about the likes and dislikes side of it. I just want to see people in there and engaged with it. That's what matters to me. If it's an audience and people are engaged with it and they enjoy it, that's what matters, and that's what it's all about. So if you can understand the English aspect of it, let me, you know what I should do? I can actually respond back to you if I think about it. Okay. I'm going to put this back in there through the translation, and hopefully that's correct on the translation side. I appreciate you following along here, buddy. I don't speak Spanish, but I wanted to do that for the Spanish. They left the box. Pena, right on the box, he's got a base hit. And this is going to split in between Schwarber, and he's going to take the wide turn, and that's going to hold there. So hopefully that ends up being a reliable response courtesy of Google Translate. I appreciate you even following along. So Pena has got the base hit, and that's going to go back toward the middle of the order right now for Dusty Baker's squad. And what's that going to look and sound like? I'll tell you that in a second. Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Kyle Tucker on that side of it. So Jeremy Pena, he's the one that's been doing a lot of damage. And Jeremy Pena, as they do the heart thing, I'm not really good at the sign language stuff of it, but first rookie in the World Series history with a hit in each of the first 6 games. He's alongside with Jose Altuve in Game 5, 5 of 8. And home run, a hit in each of the first 6 games. I mean, he's not feeling the pressure right now. He's just going out there playing baseball. And now Yordan Alvarez with a big time opportunity. He's been very quiet, but what about now? What about a situation where Yordan Alvarez can be awoken and give the Houston Astros a big lead? I'm not going to call it here, but I'm saying that could definitely happen because he's got the power and you got to be able to snap out of it at some point. Houston Astros need this guy to get going. So 0-1 count against Yordan Alvarez. Jeremy Pena reached with a single. This one is smoked, but this is all underneath it where Edmundo Sosa will catch it. And it's Yordan Alvarez with the out, and they'll bring up Alex Bregman. So Alex Bregman will be up at the dish. It's going to have Jeremy Pena at first, who reached with a solid single. Again, I hope if you're still in here, man, that the Spanish side of my Google Translate actually went through on that side of it because I appreciate anyone that's kind of bounced in and out of it. And I will update you once we get to the fourth inning of this box score. But there really isn't any scoring update to be alert of right now, but it's a tight game right now. It's 0-0. Bottom of the fourth with one out, Zach Wheeler is about to deliver pitch number 47 as Alex Bregman just digs in. 286 in the postseason with 3 home runs and 11 RBI. This guy might be in the B tier of the top third baseman side, but don't tell him that because he's got tremendous power and he's been one of the best third basemen for quite a while. So 0-1 now as the fastball was thrown by Bregman, but again, that might be one of those situations where you get a steady dose of that cutter and you get in a situation where you just want to make sure you get enough of a piece of the ball. That's how it is right now for the Astros because if you don't, the bat's going to get sawed in half. Pitch number 48 for Wheeler now as Bregman's 0 for 1. Another fastball and another light swing there for Bregman as it's 0-2. John Ott here with you. Watching on the local Fox feed. This is Game 6 of the World Series. What's at stake? If Houston wins this game, they win the Commissioner's Trophy. They win the World Series. If Philadelphia wins, they're going to force Game 7 tomorrow night about 8:05 Eastern. Again, the wind advisory on the Michigan side, I think, has died down a little bit, so we should be good. So no power outages at this point is my hope. 0-2 is the count against Bregman as Wheeler gets set to rock and deliver. He gets the sign from Realmuto. Another fastball. This one caught way too much of the plate, but Bregman able to follow this one back and stay alive. 0-2. Appreciate anyone that's jumped in between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. You can get at me Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at John Ott. Because we're going to about that an hour and a half of our broadcast side. Fast-moving game right now as we're in the bottom of the fourth. Bregman still waiting on the 0-2s. He just fouled off the previous pitch. This one's delivered with a knuckle curve, and that was a great call there from Realmuto and Wheeler because Bregman was waiting for those fastballs. He was a little bit late on it, and then he was out in front of that knuckle curve. They set him up beautifully, and that will now bring up Kyle Tucker. So Kyle Tucker's got Jeremy Pena at first base. So Jeremy Pena is the lone guy being able to do some damage right now. So if we look at our box score, it's 2 hits for Houston. It's 1 hit for Philadelphia. And the 1 hit for Philadelphia was Alec Bohm. And the 2 hits for Houston were Trey Mancini and Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena is at first. Kyle Tucker is at the dish right now with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. We're still scoreless. So Wheeler will throw pitch number 51. Do you think the pitch count right now is good for where he's at right now? And Valdez a little bit higher, but he's been relying on a bevy of strikeouts, and he's gotten some friendly calls there from the umpire, but I guess both pitchers have, but especially Valdez with that knuckle curve and that sinker. So Tucker, you're going to put this one. It's going to be quick here for Segura to get this one off the Hoskins, and he does. So we're through 4 innings. We are scoreless, folks. It's going to bring up the Philadelphia Phillies at the bat rack. They go to the top of the 5th. Stay tuned. So I got your box score update and the hits that are there. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back before we get to the 5th inning. So hang out with me.
That's why I stood up to my party to give working people a chance and to support our police.
Kevin Hertel, independent leadership from Macomb County.
Everything is going up. The cost of gas, childcare, even a box of cereal costs $4. Look, I can't solve the inflation problem, but we're doing things right now to help. Expanded health coverage for 1 million Michiganders. We've lowered childcare costs for over 100,000 children. We opened community college and apprentice training for 170,000 Michiganders, tuition free. You work hard to keep up. I'm working to make it a little easier.
Attacking Melissa Slotkin with video, taken out of context, is deceitful and wrong. She's dedicated her life to keeping America safe. I served alongside Alyssa in the White House under both Republican and Democratic presidents, and she always spoke truth to power, doing what's right for country, not party. We need more of that in Congress.
I'm Melissa Slotkin, and I'm proud to approve this message.
You already know Tudor Dixon would outlaw abortion.
No exceptions.
But Dixon's extreme ideas don't stop there. She calls schools
Women-run indoctrination centers.
Dixon spread lies about the January 6th attacks.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, I'm just bouncing back in from the break. I'm going to be starting the top of the 5th inning. Again, I got your box. I have the chat section open with the critical question. Again, that's been getting a lot of votes, so I've kind of left it there. So scoreless through 4. There's 3 hits in this game, and so far between Frommer, Valdez, and all that, they've been dominant. They're still on the mound. So Gene Segura shows bunt 7-8-9 due up for Rob Thomson right now. And we'll go back up on the top of the notes. So it'll be Gene Segura, Matt Vierling, and Edmundo Sosa. He shows bunt and pulls it back in time, and Valdez can't believe it. And here came Dusty Baker. So 1-0, count the favor here for Gene. As he hits this one on the second base side, it's going to be Jose Altuve. Throw right over to Trey Mancini. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Frommer Valdez still out there. Why not? 68 pitches. He's been really good right now. He's been locked in. Willer's been locked in too. But I will say this so far for Frommer Valdez. He's benefited there from a little bit of friendly strike zone. I can say he's earned some of it, but that sinker and everything else inside of that cutter, I was inside a few times, but he got the call. Is this up officially on the inside part of the box, in the bottom right, and then the upper reaches of the top and bottom on the YouTube side, as I'm trying to show. Those have been inconsistent, and I've seen both players on both teams complaining about it. So, second left-handed pitcher with 5 consecutive strikeouts in a World Series game. Last one to do was Sandy Koufax in 1963. So there you go. Matt Vierling in his previous plate appearance drew a walk, and right now he's seen 6 straight balls out of the strike zone so far in his 2 plate appearances. Again, just 3 hits in this contest. 0-2-0 for Houston, 0-1-0 for Philadelphia. And Vierling as the sinker bit near the bottom right of the box, right on the black, as Valdez is making a really good pitcher here with the sense of he's locating in a spot where it goes in on the hands, and what are you going to do? You're just going to ground it out. I mean, either to Altuve or Pena. That's his game plan right now, but he's been consistently dotting that part of the box, but when he's missed inside, he's also got those calls too. So that's why it's been a situation where it's been tough for runs to come by. And you got Zach Wheeler on the other side just breaking everybody's bats. So that's what you have right now. Vierling, I'll pound this one to Altuve. I'll try it again to Mancini. So 2 up, 2 down. And now that's going to bring up Edmundo Sosa. So, again, the interesting part of it, and I'm not saying it's the wrong thing for Rob Thomson to do, but if you're in a situation late in the game and you need it, you got Brandon Marsh, and you also got Bryce and Stott. I think Marsh would be one of those guys that could be a legitimate power threat. This is showing Joe Carter on the Blue Jays side. Some wonderful World Series moments, and that one was in Toronto in there for Joe Carter. We'll see if the Houston Astros win this tonight. or if the Philadelphia Phillies extend to a Game 7. If I do get Cooper Hopkins in there, I'd be happy to get him in on this call. But if it's just me, then it's just me covering the World Series tonight. There's nothing else you can do about it. So top 5 for 2 outs. Bottom of the order completely before we go the second time around. It's Edmundo Sosa against Valdez. Again, cutter just toward the top left of the box before the black, and it's 74 pitches now. It's strike 1 against Sosa. John Ott here with you, broadcasting on Twitter Spaces and YouTube side for World Series Game 6. Glad to have you along. Sinker right near the bottom of the zone, and that one was actually in there. And that was a perfect pitch because, again, what is Sosa going to do? If you can't drive it, you're just going to put a puncher right in the ground. And that's Valdez's game plan right now as everybody's waving the towels here at Minute Maid. Trying to urge Valdez to get out of this. Again, 75 pitches, about to throw 76. So you think he does have another one, an inning in him, at least the way he's going. 7 strikeouts, 5 groundouts, 2 flyouts. Now he's on the same page with Maldonado as he delivers the 0-2. Sosa had to reach a little bit out of the strike zone, but I'm going to say the way the strike zone's been, probably a good idea that he did. So 0-2 is the count for Edmundo Sosa. Sosa's numbers, 26 years of age, 227, 2 home runs, 21 RBI in the regular season with 50 strikeouts and 5 walks. He's normally the defensive replacement. And he came over there from the St. Louis Cardinals, the Philadelphia Phillies. Sosa waits on the 0-2. Hook. That one misses high. Sosa with the good eye, trying to work his way back in the count as now it's 1-2 in front of Valdez, about to throw pitch number 78. So you put him in a situation where I think if you get Valdez through 6, we'll get closer to the hundo pitch mark, and that'll probably be all she wrote there for Valdez. That's certainly the way that it seems to be pursuing right now. But again, you give me a solid 6 and you're scoreless for 1 run. I think you take that all day, regardless of where you were in the standings. And that'll be the same thing there for Wheeler. You got to score some runs. So this one gets fouled off. I don't know if they got a piece of Maldonado. So Valdez, they're showing the sinker there. So the grip on this side for the sinker, the curve like this. I can't do the hands. You have a little carpal tunnel here with the cerebral palsy. Trying to give you the designation of the sinker and then the curve. They're showing that. The sinker is just going to dive right down. And the curveball is more like a, not 12-6, but the standard hook. And Sosa, did he get a piece of that or did he strike out? He does strike out Edmundo Sosa. He went for golfing near his right foot. And Valdez, he's through 5. He only gave up 1 hit. Come right back. It'll be bottom 5. Astros up.
Mexican spices. Make the mac and cheese only at Taco Bell.
This is what real food looks like. Fresh, real meat and veggies. The food dogs were built to eat. The Farmer's Dog is changing the way we feed our pets. Visit tryfarmersdog.com to see your dog's personalized meal plan. Introducing Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe, an advanced technology that allows our professional monitoring agents to capture evidence and verify a threat is real for faster police response. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
There was this controversial figure. Everywhere he went, people challenged him. They questioned his ideology, trolled him, called him ugly names. But he never took the bait, never raised his voice, refused to retaliate, because he believed he could change the world by turning the other cheek.
Jeez.
Ironic. Gentlemen struggling with reception.
2 things that ain't dropping: balls and calls.
But you need a better network. And Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30 a line.
Verizon for $30?
Yeah, it's their best unlimited price ever.
I'm switching out.
And get the network you want for
I appreciate you guys jumping in and out on the YouTube side and following along. I'll give you an update right now. You got 15 votes, so I appreciate it. A lot of votes on this side. Are the Astros winning the World Series tonight? 73% of you say yes, 27% of you say no. I'm going to leave that one up there. Normally I would change this by now, but there's been a lot of votes. So I'm going to leave that one in for anyone that's following along. Hey, Marple, how you doing? Still scoreless right now. We are going to the bottom of the fifth. Houston will be up. It'll be Christian Vazquez, Trey Mancini, and Chas McCormick. 6, 7, 8. So Zach Wheeler, 3 strikeouts for Valdez, 8 strikeouts. But Zach Wheeler, if you want to add 4 broken bats and pieces of lumber to those strikeout counts, that's also in there as well. Sounds good. You'll be able to catch this game. So 6, 7, and 8 due up for Dusty Baker's squad right now. It's Christian Vazquez. He's the DH tonight. Only a handful of hits across the side. We're still waiting for our first run. So Christian Vazquez, 31 years of age, 274, 9 home runs, 52 RBI, 69 walks, 69 strikeouts, 22 walks. Pretty solid all the way across the board. You got to be the DH tonight because Dusty Baker's not getting anything on that side. 0-1 pitch. This one, Wheeler's going to jump for it. He should have time to throw over to Segura to Hoskins and 1 up, 1 down here for Wheeler. So pitch number 53 and induces an out. He's through 4 1/3 unblemished right now. Framber Valdez is through 5 unblemished as that brings up Trey Mancini. Again, 176, 8 bombs, 22 RBI, 49 strikeouts, 18 walks. But Trey Mancini has been a guy that's been here for a long time as far as all the stuff going on. I'll get David in here for a minute here as he's following along. I'll put you in here for a minute. 1-1. This one slam foul past Bohm, and we'll do it again. Oh for 18 in his at bats, and now 1 for 1 as he got that in the last side of it. Wheeler set to deliver the 0-1 is going to be pitch number 55 right now to Trey Mancini. Bust him inside with the fastball. Forces Mancini to back up a little bit, and we'll do it again. Now if he's not able to connect, or we'll try this again in a second. One, 2. As he gets the knuckle curve past Mancini. So pitch number 57 upcoming. John Ott here with you. Broadcasting on the YouTube side and the Twitter Spaces side. This is Game 6 of the World Series, and we're waiting for our first run scored right now as we are in the bottom of the 5th. Mancini pops this one out, fouls it off back on the catcher away for Realmuto, and now it's 1-2. So Dusty Baker, 12th postseason appearance, 9 division titles, 3 pennants. He's got no World Series titles as a manager, but he does have one as a player, and we'll see if he can get one as a manager tonight if the Houston Astros win the Commissioner's Trophy. If Philadelphia wins, we get Game 7 at 8:05 Eastern tomorrow. And Mancini did not go. That was awfully close there, but he lays off. It's 2-2. Pitch number 59 will be upcoming there for Wheeler. So you would think the way that Wheeler's going right now, he could possibly get you 7. I think the upper stretches there for Thomson was probably 6. The way Wheeler's going right now, if he continues to go, might be at least 7. And for Framber Valdez, I think he got at least 1 more because he's getting closer to the hundo pitch marker. You're always going to be careful when you get to that point, but it is the World Series. If you feel confident in what you got, they're going to let them go. Swing and a miss on the knuckle curve. The yacker got him, and Mancini's going to go grab some pine. 2 outs now. So Chas McCormick will be due up next before we hit that bottom of the order again, and Martin Maldonado. Chas McCormick, 27 years of age, 245, 14 bombs, 44 RBI, 46 walks. And again, he had an excellent catch. JT Realmuto drove it to the wall in Game 5. Chas McCormick went up against the grating there, made the catch, kept the ball in his glove. There was some possible heroics there with Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos, but if it wasn't for McCormick's catch and Mancini's play in Game 5, we could be talking about a completely different outcome, and the series would be flipping. Instead of Houston leading 3-2, it could be Philadelphia. There's a lot of things that could have went either way. And also, if you talk about Game 1, Houston probably already should have won the World Series. You can also think of it that way. 0-1 delivering on McCormick, followed off in on the hands, and now makes it 0-2. So Wheeler going to throw pitch number 62, and John Smoltz is just mentioning for Wheeler here, you want to check any signs of fatigue. I don't think so much right now for Wheeler, as long as he feels good right now. His fastball is definitely uptick. He went from 95 to 98 throughout this game, and he blows away McCormick with the fastball. And these pitchers are dominant through 5 right now. We're scoreless. Let's go to the top of the 6 as we get back to the top of the order with Kyle Schwarber. Come right back. All right, so updated box score. We're still scoreless through 5, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if Cooper Hopkins does come in, we'll get him in the broadcast.
Can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer.
Just checking on the Instagram side just in case.
People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant. Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq. Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save. The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, like 2 times miles on every purchase. You're always canceling. You're being too loud. Thank you. Good choice. Remember, heard 5 times miles on flight. Growing up.
So we got our chat. I'm going to look back at this side of it. Again, we have 15 votes. Are the Astros winning the World Series tonight? 73% of you say yes. 27% of you say no. Am I good? Yeah, I'm doing all right now. I'm just trying to get a little bit of energy drink, though. I do need that. And I did a lot of sleep today. But there really hasn't been much reason to shout because there isn't really anything going on right now in this game. So it's kind of helped me save the voice a little bit. Yeah, I don't either. I gotta use it today though because I want to make sure I stay awake. Otherwise, you do all that time, it's bad for you. I don't. I usually deal with a lot of water. Water is good for you. It's the lifeblood. So back toward the top of the order. Both teams have been through it 2 times now. We're about to be for the Astros side at least. Kyle Schwarber leading off against Valdez one more time. And again, that knuckle curve has been featured. And just want to take a step out of the box and look there with the umpire. Did Kyle Schwarber, but that one was indeed a strike. And it's 0-1 as Valdez will get set to deliver pitch number 81. Again, if he probably goes to the wall too many times with the knuckle curve, then you hang one and Schwarber might bang it. But at the same time, every single time Valdez has thrown one of those in the zone, doesn't seem like Philadelphia is keen on letting it go, letting it fly. But that's just what we see right now. So we'll go back up toward our notes on this side of it. Kyle Schwarber, again, he got buckled on the knuckle curve, and I'm not exactly sure why, because that one actually split the plate. 218, 46 home runs, 94 RBI, and 200 strikeouts. But I would just say this. That pitch has been effective. It's caught a lot of people by surprise, and maybe they're sitting on a sinker. They get the knuckle curve. They just want time to adjust to it. That's certainly what it seems like right now. And now this one's way out of the zone to see if Schwarber would bite. He does not. And again, I have to be very careful about what I say as far as doing well in the at-bat, because last time I said that I jinxed Schwarber and he struck out. So we'll figure out what happens here as Valdez taking a little extra beat here with Maldonado. He's kind of leaning on the mound, making sure he's got the pan on the fingernails and figuring out Maldonado what pitch they want to throw here to Kyle Schwarber. He's waiting on the 2-2. We're scoreless at the top of the sixth. Schwarber waiting on the pitch. This one is blasted down the right field line. It's gone. Kyle Schwarber gives the Phillies the lead, and they've drawn first blood. His 6th home run of the postseason round those bags. Kyle Schwarber putting a jump into it, and we have our first run of the contest. And what did I just say about those hanging breaking balls? And I want to make sure whether or not that actually was a hanging breaking ball. This was a sinker that was right in the happy zone, right in the bat path of Schwarber, and he smoked it down the right field line. And now we have a 1-0 lead for the Phillies, and we have our first run. So now pitch inside to Rhys Hoskins as Kyle Schwarber electrified the crowd for some, made some of them sit on their hands. Hoskins waiting on the 1-0. Another hook. That one was just low. And I will say this, that one could have been called before that. And now he's not getting the call. And Schwarber, my goodness, what a swing as he's talking in between some of his teammates. He feels pretty good about all that. This one in on the hands. Going to be a tough play for Bregman. He's got a barehanded hurry. What a defensive web gem there by Alex Bregman. As it's 1 out now on the top of the 6th. It's going to bring up JT Realmuto. So Alex Bregman did not screw around there. He went quickly on the barehand. That was his only chance to be able to get Rhys Hoskins. Caught that firm, caught it right on the move, made a nice feed over there to Trey Mancini. Got this foot on the bag. That's about as good as you do it there. So you're talking about maybe 1A, 1B third baseman. You're talking about a situation where Alex Bregman, you make that play, that puts you in the A category because not a lot of guys can do that. I know you're in Major League Baseball for a reason, but that is highlight reel. So JT Realmuto. And now Realmuto gets it against him, and he's looking like, what the hell's going on? I'm the catcher on that side, and now you bust that call on me. So again, now we get inconsistent sinkers. So 0-1, the count now against JT Realmuto. We've got our first run of the ball game now, courtesy of Kyle Schwarber Bohm. This one back to Bregman's going to be an easier play. And throw over there to Mancini, and Realmuto's out. It's 2 outs now. And that's going to bring up Bryce Harper. So they're going to show the pitch sequence, I imagine, of Kyle Schwarber, as they should. Again, I don't see too many light flickering here in the Michigan side. I think they're past our wind advisory, so things should be good. But that 96 caught too much of the plate. He absolutely turned on it on the right field line as Kyle Schwarber said, let's go, let's eat, let's go, as he rolls around the bases after he hits the home run. So this is going to bring up Bryce Harper batting 4th. Again, this is another situation. You can talk about it. Bryce Harper, he shows bunt, pulls it back in time. Bryce Harper's had to go to bat with nobody on base. And normally that would not spell success right now, but Framber Valdez gave up the solo shot. It's 1-0. Second consecutive game for Kyle Schwarber with the bottom where he let it off against Verlander in Game 5. He got the damage now in the top of the 6th against Framber Valdez, and now that one's called a strike, and Bryce can't believe it as Rob Thomson looks on. Rob Thompson's not saying much because he knows, just like the players do, and just like on the Houston side, it's been all over the place tonight as far as the strike zone goes. So 1-1. Harper set to dig in now. Valdez about to throw pitch number 92. You think this might be his last? And Harper launches! Foul! Down the right field line. That had the distance, and that was crushed. But we'll do it again. My goodness. That was right in the hit me happy zone. And that was a slider that did not slide. It caught the middle of the plate. And Valdez, heart probably skipped an extra beat as that one got smoked foul. 1-2. Bryce gets set to dig back in, and he's going fishing. So we do get our first run of the game. That's Kyle Schwarber with the solo shot to right field. Philadelphia's got the lead as we hit the bottom of the sixth. It's 1-0. Come right back. Yeah, that was a wow moment, Whirlpool, in the sense of, there you go. We got our first moment there, and Bryce almost made a dose. But we'll see what happens here with the Houston Astros now in the bottom of the sixth. If I can't get Cooper Hopkins in on this side, I'm going to tell him Game 7. He's got to be here. I know he's got stuff to do, work and all that, or other things going on, but we'll figure that out for Game 7. I really don't want to do Game 7 by myself. I will if I have to. I can do it and carry it, but it'd be nice to get some help. And have a two-man booth. It's always good for everybody else that bounces in and out. I might just leave this initial question up there right now, because we're still getting votes on it. So let's just go through this tonight right now. I know this is probably where I shouldn't start, but I'm going to start here anyway. As far as the NHL scores, that was a 3-0 win for the Red Wings, so I was happy tonight. We got to play a back-to-back tomorrow with the New York Rangers. So that's going on. Devils and Flames will be at 10, so I know Cooper will be around for that at some point. Preds Canucks, 10 as well. Panthers Kings at 10:30 and Ducks Sharks at 10:30, so that'll give me something late to watch. Either between the Panthers and Kings will probably what I'll be checking out. The Avalanche get another win over the Blue Jackets. They're playing in another series overseas, I believe. 5-1. The Avalanche won. They're 6-4-1 in the season. The defending Stanley Cup champs, 6-4-1. Not a bad start. Marley won a little bit better. Jets are 7-3-1. They got a 4-0 win over the Blackhawks. Stars get a huge win over the Oilers, 6-2. They're 8-3-1 in the season, so not falling apart without Jake Ottinger. 6-4 as the Golden Knights win again over the Canadiens. They're 11-2, folks. Flyers beat the Sens 2-1. Flyers are 6-3-2. That's been a surprising start. Seattle Kraken, they get the win over the Pens. They're 7-4-2. Lightning beat the Sabres 7-4-1 of the Lightning, 7-5 of the Sabres. Lost a couple games. Maple Leafs beat the Bruins 2-1. That was a huge game. And that made the Bruins fall to 10-2. So they have let me look, because I got to look at the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights now have the best record in the NHL, 11-2. The Bruins would have been 11-1. And then the Coyotes beat the Caps. That's a bad loss there for the Caps. They lose 3-2. If I do college football, do they give me the top 25 scores? Is the question. Don't know if they do. Because if it's all of them. So here's a score line for you. LSU and Alabama. LSU has a 14-9 lead over the Crimson Tide with 13:33 left. The commercials, and now in between, have finally caught up to the action here. So Martin Maldonado takes the ball. Zach Wheeler has got the lead right now, courtesy of a Kyle Schwarber bomb. Third Philly to homer in back-to-back World Series games. Last to do were Chase Utley in 2009 and Ryan Howard 2009 as well. So that is some special company right now. Framber Valdez probably is done for the night. He only gave up one run. It was a solo shot to Kyle Schwarber. We'll see what happens with Zach Wheeler right now. And he hit Maldonado right on the elbow on the left hand. So that's going to bring up the top of the order there. And Jose Altuve, so that could make things interesting here for the Houston Astros, as you have the catcher now reach, and they just want to see whether or not JT Realmuto and Zach Wheeler, whether or not, and Rob Thompson's coming on as well. Did Maldonado do one of these? He did. He did. He pulled his arm in to get hit by it. That's what they were asking. It looks like he's definitely did, and I'm not trying to be a homer on either side, because Nola and all them said, yeah, let's challenge this immediately. And we'll see if this is going to stand. Rob Thompson's still waiting now near the warning track side of it. I think they're going to let the umpires review it just to make sure. So Philadelphia is indeed going to challenge whether or not this one actually hit Maldonado. He didn't stick out his elbow. It certainly looked like on that side. He definitely leaned into the pitch. I think that's something, if you're Maldonado, you got to try to do. But again, if you're Houston and you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what Houston does. Again, I kid. I understand all that stuff, but that's the gamesmanship. You got to find a way to get away with all that stuff if you can. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and we'll see if that's going to either be an automatic out or if he's going to go right back to the base. Quick challenge. Already got a call. So calls confirm that he's hit by the pitch. They're not even going to say that Maldonado actually went to go stick one of his elbow out, which it looked like he did. I actually don't agree with that call, to be honest with you. In the sense of Rob Thompson, he said that was BS. You can read his lips. You don't really need to be a good lip reader to read that. But be that as it may, it is Maldonado at first, and it is Jose Altuve to start. The bottom of the sixth, I should say. Pull back up my ESPN box score side of it. I appreciate anyone that's been following along on Twitter Spaces and on the YouTube side. Zach Wheeler. He's going to throw pitch number 66 here to Jose Altuve. Now, all of a sudden, the lineup turns over third time through. We'll see if Wheeler can get out of it. Maldonado got hit in the elbow by a pitcher, and they said he didn't offer at it. So we'll see what happens with Altuve. He's 0 for 2. Again, he's been one of the more quiet hitters with the exception of Game 5 alongside Jeremy Pena. So I think you got to go after Altuve as much as you can. When you're looking at where Maldonado was in the previous at-bat to the Fox side, they showed it in. He was all the way in, like Alejandro Kirk on the Blue Jays, trying to crowd that plate as much as he could, and he got the call. So 2-0 is the count against Altuve as the fastball misses high. And now the Houston crowd's getting into this. They know it's a big-time opportunity here for Jose Altuve to get to the point where they can at least tie this game at 1 with either one swing the gap shot or take the lead and have that train go by in left field. So runner at first, 2-0 count for Altuve. It's Maldonado at first. He does not run well. This one's slammed. They're going to at least be able to get Maldonado out. Can they get Altuve? They cannot. So fielder's choice. Altuve's got too much speed, and that'll bring up Jeremy Pena with Jose Altuve at first. So defensive indifference there. I'm going to look at that football score where you're saying crushing Clemson on that side of it just to make sure. Did you see what that score is, or can you type that one in there for me as we're looking along there, Paul? I'd be interested to know. John, here with you for Game 6 on the Fox local side. That's another broken bat there by Zach Wheeler, and he was safe, no doubt about it. But another broken twig there for Wheeler. That's the 5th time in this game. So Jeremy Pena, 4 for the last 6, they say. 339 in the postseason with 4 bombs and 8 RBI, as he's got Altuve on the first, and he's getting an MVP chance, and I don't blame them right now. 27-0, my goodness. So Pena get a chance to dig in. It's a 1-0 score in our contest as Philadelphia's got the lead, courtesy of a Kyle Schwarber bomb. Throw there for Altuve, and we'll do it again as Pena is just getting settled to get back in the box. So Game 6 of the World Series on your local Fox side, broadcasting on Twitter Spaces, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at John Ott. And glad you are joining along on that side of it. Another throw over there by Wheeler, just keeping Altuve honest. Maybe wanting to make sure, again, Altuve's got enough speed for a hit and run to get first and third. Jeremy Pena has been hotter than a firecracker. He's been the best hitter all the way across the board. If you don't count Bryce getting walked or Kyle Schwarber hitting home runs, you would certainly go with Jeremy Pena as the hottest hitter across anybody right now. Jose Alvarado is actually going to get time to get loose in the bullpen as he's just getting up, supposedly. If Rob Thompson throws him back in a situation again where you got to go in between Alvarez and Tucker and Bregman, and he doesn't have time, that could be tough. So a 7-game hit streak in the postseason for Pena, 12 hits in the last 13 games. First rookie shortstop with a World Series home run and ALCS MVP. You could be talking about a World Series MVP if Houston wins this one tonight. They gotta score a run though. Let's tie it here. This one is grounded through the hole, and this is gonna get Altuve to third. Jeremy Pena delivers again with runners on, and he's saying, let's go. He is pumped up right now. Why would he not be? It's one of those situations. Do you want to walk Jeremy Pena? I mean, he hasn't beaten you with a home run ball, but he's definitely getting guys first to third. You could have had first and second, and now they're really going to, I think, to take Wheeler out of there. And I don't know if Jose Altuve, my goodness, sorry, Jose Alvarado, he's up, but he just got up. If they put him in the same situation again, Alvarado could give up a dinger. So Altuve's at third. Zach Wheeler is going to take a seat. He's going to be responsible for the runners on first and third. It's going to be Jose Alvarado's job to get out of this when we come back. Yordan Alvarez at the dish.
This one is special. And this one is also special.
What's really special is saying, show me the Carfax value. Most accurate price based on the vehicle's accident. Look for me and stop overpay. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
The Hexagon, the perfect building block for innovation. Using a passive design and hybrid construction, Hexagon combines the performance of stainless steel cookware with the convenience of non-stick. And that all adds up to this. Welcome to the hybrid revolution. Welcome to Hexagon.
Get up, get moving, and gradually Just Spray's the easiest way. Just step into the shower with just men-controlled shampoo. The first and only shampoo that blends away a little gray with every wash.
Notre Dame is beating Clemson 28-0. I have to refresh this. $10.25 in the fourth. Do you think that's smooth sailing there?
This is Fubo TV. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports.
Not really too enthusiastic about Michigan and Rutgers. You're going to see what that is really quick.
Try free at FuboTV.com.
So Michigan up 35-7. I mean, they gave up 17 already to Rutgers. I mean, this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Ohio State did not look good against Northwestern today either. So for the Big Ten side of it, I just don't feel like anytime you get to the postseason, college football is always dominated by the SEC. It's like Georgia and nobody else. I mean, I just don't see. If Alabama was always the way they are, it'd be Alabama and Georgia and nobody else. I just don't see anyone else doing anything in the playoffs. I mean, it's nice. You have a nice rivalry there with Ohio State and stuff too, but I don't care if they win that or not. They're not going to win a playoff. It just doesn't feel like that way to me. When we get back into the action here, and we finish it off and go to the top of the game, I'll take a quick bathroom break. So Yordan Alvarez has runners at first and third. The Astros are down by 1. Zach Wheeler's just been pulled, so he's going to be responsible for 2 runs against if they both reach. So Rob Thomson has gone to his bullpen. Jose Alvarado's got to get out of a jam right now. 11 postseason games, 11 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 13 strikeouts, 3, 2, and 4 innings pitched, and runs and Ks respectively. Yordan Alvarez has been cold, but this is a big-time opportunity, and this might be where I call it. He could hit a 3-run shot right now. I feel like he's going to do it. It's lefty on lefty, though, between Alvarado and Alvarez. It's first and third. Alvarez swings foul. He was ready for the fastball, and he was a little early, so he wanted to launch that one. And I did actually call that before he swung, so I feel a little bit better about myself. 321 against lefties, 299 against righties in the regular season. 10 bombs to 27, 998 OPS to 1,030. So supreme power, supremely talented, one of the best hitters. He's been a little cold in the World Series, but this is the exact kind of shot that you need. As Wheeler can do nothing but watch. Alvarado's got to get out of it. 0-1. Good block there by Realmuto, as that could have been supremely dangerous. But that's going to hold Pena at first. Altuve's at third. Those are your runners right now. It is one out. And if Alvarado can induce a double play, they got to be quick to second, but they can get Alvarez. He's not the fastest runner. Depends on how it's hit, though. Pitch number 3. It's a 1-1 count against Yordan Alvarez. Up near his face, 99. It does not get much easier with Alex Bregman on deck. It'll be the lefty-righty matchup that they want for the Houston Astros. 2-1 is the count against Yordan. You think the green light's probably on. I think I would do so as well for Dusty Baker on that side of it. If he likes it, just let it go. Be free and easy here and don't overthink it. So here's a chance now, Yordan Alvarez. 2-1. He launches deep center field. 3-1. Yordan Alvarez, I just said it. You got to be free and easy, and you got to launch. And I can't believe I have people downstairs that are actively rooting for the Astros. But that's the kind of household that I live in, and I'll have to just deal with it because they're a little bit ahead of me in the sense of when I hear shouts, something happens. So they kind of spoil it for me, but still, that was a moonshot, 450 feet, 113 miles per hour, and a pitch that was hung. You just can't do that. Yordan Alvarez has been very quiet, but that is how you wake up his bat when you give him a meaty knuckle curve right in the middle of the bat path. I mean, there really is nothing else you can say. You can't make that pitch. I feel bad for Wheeler on that side of it because if I'm being honest with you, I would have just kept Wheeler in. I don't really like that decision there because now you're going to not only did you give up the bomb, now you got Bregman that's probably going to do some damage that loves to hit lefties. So we'll see what happens here. But that could be a gut punch for Philadelphia. Absolutely. And a pitch that was hung in a bad spot, and Yordan Alvarez made Alvarado pay. Inside 100 with the fastball as Bregman spits on it. Realmuto is going to come out there quickly, calm down Alvarado, and I don't blame him. But again, you put you in a situation where it's runners in the corners like that, it doesn't matter from the point of what I previously said about the walk. I mean, you'd walk and you're still going to do the same thing. Can't locate it there. No doubt about it. That is right on the tee with the knuckle curve. So even if he was a little bit late on a fastball, he's not going to be late on an 85-mile-an-hour curve down the middle of the zone. Are you kidding me? So that's where we are right now with the Houston Astros, and they are in the driver's seat right now to lift this commissioner's trophy, courtesy of Yordan Alvarez. For as quiet as he's been, that could definitely catapult him into a World Series MVP. I know it's going to be Jeremy Pena if they end up winning it with all those hits, but no bigger blow than that right now, courtesy of Yordan Alvarez, giving the Houston Astros a 3-1 lead. Bregman takes the 100-mile-an-hour fastball as it splits the plate. Now it's 3-1. The one thing I have to say is this. In the sense of everything that you talk about with the buzzers, the cheating, and the same thing happened with the Astros, same thing happened with the Red Sox. But in the situation where all that stuff is supposed to have passed, and they also were able to skate on the COVID side of it, as Bregman launches, that one's foul, they're able to skate on the COVID side of it with no fans. They got lucky on that side of it. You didn't have to deal with the wrath of the fans, which is very fortunate on their part. But for all the times that they've been in the World Series since, it'd be hard to argue that this team isn't a dynasty. But I just don't know, unless you're living in the side of Houston or you're crazy like the people downstairs, how you ultimately stomach this and feel good if you're any other teams right now. I understand how the Philadelphia fan bases can be, but I mean, I just don't know. It's a black eye for all of baseball that I don't think will be lifted for probably another 10 seasons, in the sense of Yordan Alvarez, Bregman, Altuve, Kyle Tucker, all those guys would have to go. That's the only thing you could say. And once they all left and you could turn over a new leaf, then I think people would probably reset on the Astros. For me, I guess on the only side, it would be Justin Verlander getting another World Series ring. But I hate the fact, for me, and I'll just be honest, in the sense of we trade Justin Verlander for Franklin Perez. He'll never pitch again. He never made the team. He'll never be able to pitch again, period. And then it was Daz Cameron that could never make the team, and Jake Rogers. And you traded a future Hall of Famer for nothing, a bag of peanuts. And now he's going to win possibly another World Series with the Houston Astros. So Alvarado can't do much here. He's got the 3-batter minimum that's been instituted since the last year. Yeah, you can have Sir Anthony Dominguez warm up all you want, but he's got 2 more batters here. So he's going to have to get past Bregman and Tucker. So Bregman at first. And here comes Kyle Tucker. So we'll see what happens now. Again, he's gone through 2 batters. He's got to deal with at least Tucker. He's got no choice. This one's spiked in the dirt. There's going to be a chance to go all the way to second now. So things are falling apart here for the Philadelphia Phillies. And they got to find it now. I think 1 more run is probably going to do it. I'd hate to call it already, but I think that's it. If it gets to 4-1, I think this game is done. I really do, the way that this is going right now. Because I don't know who else you can call from in that bullpen. I mean, they've been good, but Alvarado, he's the one guy that you want to lean to on that lefty to get stuff done right now. And he's just not fit the bill right now, but he's also been put in the fire situations. But if you're supposed to be the best, you got to get out of those situations almost routinely. He's not been able to do that. As Kyle Tucker slams that one foul. It's 1-1 now. 12 pitches in Alvarado's day. He gave up a 3-run shot to Yordan Alvarez. So 2 of those runs are going to be charged to Zach Wheeler. 1 of those will be charged to Alvarado. And this really gets you in a situation now. If Philadelphia doesn't stem the tide, this could be it. I know there's still 9 more outs to work with here for Philadelphia, but time is going to run out pretty soon. 1-1. This one is way down in the dirt. Good block there by Realmuto to keep runner at second and Bregman, but the noose is tightening right now on Alvarado. John Ott here with you on the call. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at John Ryan Ott. Glad you can join on Twitter Spaces side. Also on the YouTube side as Sir Anthony Dominguez continues to get warm for Rob Thompson's squad. It's 2-1. As Kyle Tucker might have the opportunity to launch here. Instead, he's going to watch the sinker miss the play from about 6 feet down by the knees, and we'll do it again. 3-1 is the count. It's gut check time here for the Phillies. They've got to get out of this right now and strand this runner. The damage has already been done. Any more, and you would think it's over. 3-1. Tucker can swing out of his shoes if he wants, or take a ball. This one is swung out of his shoes with the sinker, foul on the first base line, and that's a full count. So Kyle Tucker, 257, 30 home runs, 107 RBI, 95 strikeouts, 59 walks, 25 stolen bases. The only thing Houston's got to figure out over the next couple of years, and again, they won't care after winning this World Series tonight if they do so. Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Kyle Tucker will be free agents in 2 years. So the core of your team's got to be kept together, and they're all at the right ages between 25, 20, and 25 respectively. I don't think there really is any questions about what you need to do next. If you're the Houston Astros, you just keep the trend going, and you make sure you got Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker signed so you can go back and do this again next year. Again, Philadelphia's still got 9 more outs to work with, but holding this runner at second is paramount right now. That's Bregman. Alvarado's already given up the big bomb to Yordan Alvarez. It's been about 37 at-bats for Alvarez until he finally struck for a big one, but it was a knuckle curve right down the middle. Nothing else he could do with it. And courtesy of Valdez only giving up 1 run to Kyle Schwarber, he was excellent with the strikeout. He got some calls, but Zach Wheeler also got some calls too, but Valdez got more. Definitely no doubt about that. As this one's fouled again down the first base line. Apologies. Full count pitch. Alvarado, 4 bullpen appearances. Bellotti with 3, Bregman with 3, Eflin with 3. So Alvarado's been the key guy, but Alvarado's been the key guy that's also been bit like the mosquito to the human being. Not been good. It's been itchy and it's been uncomfortable here. 0-1 is Tucker in this game. It's still a full count. He's waiting on the 3rd full count offering. And this one is a swing and a miss. It looked like he almost timed that, maybe about a beat and a half earlier. That would have been slammed on the right field line. It would have been 5-1. So Thomson looks at Alvarado now at the 3-batter minimum. And if that is the end for Alvarado, I think he's going to find it hard to sleep at night. Because when you have Presley, Montero, Abreu, Harris, Stanek, all those guys, you talked about Philadelphia and their bullpen in the World Series, as that is it for Alvarado. You talk about the way that that's been. The Houston bullpen has been absolutely untouchable, especially on the World Series side. As Yordan Alvarez, it's the big shot. We got another out left in the 6th to get, but it's 3-1 now for the Houston Astros as they try to win the Commissioner's Trophy tonight. Come right back.
With Mexican spices, made for mac and cheese sauce, only at Taco Bell. I've always been prone to the hair thinning. I'm genetically predisposed.
You just get burnt by blood or a lot of stress. It's getting older.
I started taking Nutrafol.
It's natural and it's clinically effective. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement. Within months, your skin is becoming
Stronger, thicker.
Nutrafol has taken you back to the hair I was meant to have.
Back to me.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
We found Movement because we believe you shouldn't have to choose between a great watch and a fair price. Our watches are uniquely designed, in-house, clean, modern watches, crafted with top-tier materials. Join the movement now at nvnt.com.
This quarterback today, he looks daring, unafraid, bold, powerful, dominant. Yeah, but what about the tight end? What? It's the most underrated position on the field. Check this out. See, Cletus? Not the only high-tech machine around here. Yeah, about whatever you want. Always rep. I love it.
We just updated the box there for you. Again, we got to get through the 6, but I'll just get this as far as my notes as well. Try not to lie to you, and I try to be partial about all this stuff as far as the call, but I honestly feel sick to my stomach right now after I saw the home run. And I don't even like Philadelphia. So Sir Anthony Dominguez, he's going to have to clean up the mess that Alvarado left. And this is going to be a big swing by Vazquez, and now it goes 1-1. Again, the final line is done there for Wheeler. I thought he was really good, but again, the final line is going to look a little bad in the sense of 5 and 1 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 1/3. And because of he was stuck with the Altuve and Pena at 3rd and 1st, Alvarado comes in to try to relief. It's Yordan Alvarez with a hanging knuckle curve, and it's 3-1. Kyle Schwarber just gave the Philadelphia Phillies a 1-0 lead with a leadoff home run, and Yordan Alvarez countered with a 3-run shot. So you're talking about Pena, Alvarez, Altuve. He's been doing the damage the whole way through and carrying the load right now. And the rookie, I mean, he's been exceptional. And Yordan Alvarez finally broke through with a pitch that he really had to crush. There's no doubt about it. So Sir Anthony Dominguez, we'll see if it's just a third of an inning here. If he does get the final out, but I mean, if I'm Jose Alvarado, I'm also feeling a little bit sick to my stomach as far as all that stuff, because when you hung that pitch to that kind of hitter, I mean, you're just asking for it. So 2-2. Vazquez ropes this one down the left field line. This is going to score another run. This is going to chance for Bregman. That's 4 straight runs for the Houston Astros, and they're rolling now. After the 3-run shot, Bregman got on base with the walk, and now Vazquez gets a double. It's 4-1 Houston, and the Phillies are on the brink. There is no doubt about it right now. I already said this would be church by the time they had 4 runs, and I really believe that. Because now you're at a situation where I think Alvarado giving up that shot, whether it's fair or unfair, I think he let everybody in Philly. I think they made their hearts drop. And you got everyone else going on in the bullpen. They're not going to feel too confident either. So they're going to need a stopper as they're doing the Steph Curry night-night with Christian Vazquez, which is kind of also pissing me off. But again, I'll try to not get too angry about that. Again, I have to just watch it and take my medicine as this team continues to win. I guess Justin Verlander gets a World Series ring, but if you're outside of Houston, I just don't know. I really don't. 0-1 as Dominguez looks off for Vazquez. And we'll do it again. Again, Houston, I don't know why they're booing. They don't really have much to boo about right now. They got to feel good right now. As all these guys, you pay about $3,500 for a ticket, and you get a chance to see something really good. You should be enjoying yourself. 0-50, 1-2 is Trey Mancini right now, 1 for 2 in the third, and that was his first hit in the postseason, getting the bingo at 0-50. See if Mancini can do it again. I'll just keep telling myself it's good for Mancini and Dusty Baker. I'll try to rationalize it the way that I can. As Mancini took too much of a cut, a little bit mad at himself as he digs back into the box. But again, not too much to be mad about if you're a Houston Astros fan. It's 4-1. Vazquez is at first. Bregman just scored off of the Vazquez hit, and then Yordan Alvarez with a 3-run shot. It's 4-1 Houston, and all they got to do is get the final 9 outs against Philadelphia, and that'll be lights out. This could be a base hit down the middle. Great play by Segura. Did he actually get that out? Wow! What a stretch by Hoskins as Segura makes the play. Houston does the heavy damage. It's 4-1, but that was a great play by Segura. Come right back. We go to the 7th. 4-1. Houston's 9 outs away from the Commissioner's Trophy. Be right back.
In Macomb County, Veronica Kleinfeld called out corruption in her own party. She put taxpayers ahead of politics. She's tough enough to take on the Lansing politicians and end the retirement tax on seniors. Veronica Kleinfeld.
Here's the facts about abortion in Michigan. Abortion is legal. State courts have restored early rights. But Proposal 3 goes way beyond. Proposal 3 permanently rewrites your constitution with extreme ideas. It takes away parents' rights for abortion and gender change therapies for minors, and allows lifetime abortions up to the time of birth. It invalidates public health laws, but won't tell you which ones. It's confusing and extreme, but the Constitution. Vote no on Proposal 3.
As Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson has really been about partisanship. I say that as a Republican and as a veteran. She's committed to fair elections for all sides, making sure that every voice is heard and every vote is counted. At the same time, Jocelyn has made the office work better. No more long lines. Jocelyn Benson knows government should work for every regime. I believe in her, trust in her. Jocelyn will always put the country first.
Look, it's only been a year and a half of Biden. Our jobs are leaving Michigan. Inflation's at a 40-year high. Russia's attacking Europe for the first time since World War II. Democrats are in charge now, and we're worse off because they're weaponizing our emotions than they are government. How about let's give conservative leadership a try before there's nothing left of our country? I'm John James, putting this message because their politics of division won't help lower prices or make our families safer. But I will.
In Macomb County, Veronica Kleinfeld called out corruption in her own party. She put taxpayers ahead of politics. She's tough enough to take on the Lansing politicians and end the retirement tax on seniors. Kleinfeld.
Thank you for hanging in there between the YouTube and the Twitter Spaces side, as we've still got something definitive now. It took 6 innings to do so, but it is. Again, let me go ahead and make sure that I got all this stuff here. It's 4-1. So 4-1 is your score now. The Houston Astros have the lead. It was Yordan Alvarez and Alex Bregman that scored the last couple runs, and Christian Vazquez drove in Alex Bregman. And Philadelphia has got to answer. They've got 9 outs left in their postseason run. They've taken the Houston Astros to 6 games. It's a commendable effort right now. We know how good Houston's been. I think all the situations when everyone said Houston in 5, I thought that was a little short-sighted. But again, I was one of those ones. I'll be completely honest with you. Regardless how I feel about it, I took Houston in 6. And it certainly seems to be that way of it. I put that in before this even started. But again, when I'm watching this stuff and I'm trying to be impartial, it's really hard because I think about all the other stuff that's been going on over the last few years, not to mention the Boston Red Sox too, and the fact that this team essentially got to skate away on the COVID side, and all they had to do was give up 2 of their first-round draft picks. And then you go ahead and get Dusty Baker, bring that stuff back in. So how did they really even get punished? I don't know. So Nick Castellanos will pop this one into Altuve. And 1 up, 1 down on the top of the 7th. Christian Javier, last 3 games, will do this. 6 innings scoreless. Justin Verlander, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run from Valdez. 6-inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 run. That is exactly what you want if you're the Houston Astros. It means everybody's doing the damn job. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And they've gotten clutch hitting at the right time when they needed it. Again, you could say it as easy as you like with Yordan Alvarez, but it's the truth. Lowest bullpen ERA in a single postseason. 2022 Astros are .87 minimum 25 innings pitched. So I will make sure that I put that in there as well. So we'll just do this, .87 minimum 25. And that's going to go up even more. Brian Abreu will be waiting. So that's just for now. That's just for the 6th. So I'll just make sure I put that in my notes. As Bohm will swing and miss. It's now 0-2. The Houston Astros are 8 outs away for immortality right now. It's 4-1 your scoreline. John Ott with you watching the local Fox feed, trying to relay on the YouTube side and the Twitter Spaces side. Alec Bohm has to go against Hector Neris. Pitch number 7 coming from Neris. It's an 0-2 count. And the fastball blows him away. 7 outs to go. Hector Neris has an electrifying fastball, but he also has a devastating sinker and a devastating split. So when you think about that fastball to set you up and then put that split down and away, what do you do? I mean, this bullpen here, again, this was through 6 innings. Their ERA is .87 on their bullpen. And the ERA for Dusty Baker's squad in their bullpen, that's all righties. There's no lefties. They don't care about mismatches or anything else like that. Between the opposite-handedness, they're going to get you out. And that's what they've shown right now. So Neris is going to get a chance now to dig back in, as I'll go back on the top of my notes, with Eugene Segura. Philadelphia's got to get something going right now on the top of the 7 with 2 outs. Segura swings and misses. He was late on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. But again, that splitter, that can be devastating too. So you pick one or the other to swing at, and you don't time it right, you can look foolish, even on a 95. 0-1 now. against Gene Segura. As Harris gets assigned quickly there, he's going to go right with the split. That's what it seems like on my side. And he does. That was a little higher actually in the strike zone. I mean, Segura got a piece of it, 0-2. If Segura does reach, that will bring up Matt Vierling, and it will also be a situation for my liking that you have Brandon Marsh on the bench. I'm surprised Didi Gregorius, I don't think he was injured. He wasn't even active on that side of it as well. But Brandon Marsh is available to pinch hit, and you would think at some point he'd have to do it. 0-2 against Segura. And Segura went. The Houston Astros are 6 outs away from immortality, but they will go back to bat first in the bottom of the 7th, up 4-1. Come right back. I appreciate you guys bouncing in and out between Twitter Spaces and YouTube. I know I said that a lot, but it's been active. I will throw this in there. Those are all the handles and stuff if you want to follow along. That's the blog on that side. You're getting complete coverage. Once this stuff is done with the recorder and all that stuff, it'll be no extraneous. It'll all be on this. So anytime I'm talking to you and all that, it's not going to be on this side. This is just all the game stuff. So the complete call will be on the broadcast side of it. And then we'll get complete coverage of the game once this is all said and done. And I'm going to continue to update that box as we go along. I've just left this singular question up there all the time because it continually gets votes. And now I think this is going to go more toward the yes side because of the score. But a lot of you guys, you already have the Houston Astros above 70%. We got 21 votes in. Are the Astros winning the World Series tonight? 76% say yes, 24% say no, and 21 votes. So I appreciate you guys following along all night as this has been rocking. So this one is done. I think we're pretty much at this point as far as getting a chance to get Cooper Hopkins in here. So I'm going to have to do a hockey game or something next week. I don't think he's going to be able to join in time. But I'm not going to jump right down. Just see. If he can't get on, he can't get on. World Baseball Classic is March 2023. I wouldn't mind actually doing some of that stuff. I think that's around my birthday usually in March, but I don't know exactly when that's going to be. I know March 19th, 22nd is my birthday, but March 19th I'll be going to the Wings Avs game at LCA. I could definitely got to go to get to that. Hopefully get some good seats. And then I think on the 23rd, which was the day after my birthday, there'll be a Resident Evil 4 remake release. So I'll feel good around March. I'll probably forget about all this by then. So if you want a game recap, you just look no further than the 6th inning because it was Robert Valdez and Zach Wheeler going all the way through. It was Zach Wheeler having to depart within 5 1/3 innings. He gave up, well, part of it at least is his fault because the 2 runners on 1st and 3rd in between Altuve and Pena in the sense of a 3-run shot from Yordan Alvarez. That was Jose Alvarado that gave it up, but 2 runs were charged to Wheeler. And then at the beginning of it, it was Framber Valdez. All he did was give up a solo shot to Kyle Schwarber. So it's 4-1 as we head to the Bottom of the 7th. And again, I will update the box score after we get to this and go to the top of the 8th. So the Houston Astros getting back up to the bat rack now. So we're going to go ahead and go back to this side of the order. So it's going to be Chas McCormick. It'll be 8, 9, and 1. McCormick, Maldonado, and Jose Altuve. Again, I humbly appreciate everyone going between Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side. It's been busy all night. So thank you so much for following along on that side of it. I know I can't broadcast the game, but hopefully the play-by-play does help. So 1-0, and this one went off of the umpire, and Realmuto just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. As we get into a pitcher here for Rob Thompson's squad, Zach Eflin, 9 2/3. So players remaining from the 2017 team that won was Altuve, Bregman, Gurriel, McCullers, and Verlander. So again, I understand for some of that, but I mean, until you kind of change some of that stuff around there with Bregman and Altuve, then that's where I say then you can hit the reset button and really don't care about all the other stuff after that. But until that happens, until you turn that leaf over, you got remnants of that team there where I just don't know how, unless you live in Houston. I don't blame you if you live in Houston. But if you're outside of that and you're rooting for one side, that's rough. But again, Philadelphia is always kind of the city. Not to hate on any Philadelphia fans because the Eagles are 8-0 and everyone else is doing well. Every fan base has their problems, even in Detroit, but we just never win anything. So 2-2 is the count. McCormick will follow this knuckle curve just off Eflin. Knuckle curve is pretty good here for Eflin and the fastball. He's got a lot of split to it, a lot of dart down in the zone. He's very active with that, but he can place on both sides. He's been a pretty good arm here for Rob Thompson's squad. Normally, everybody's been good. It's just been Alvarado that's been bit the last couple times, and he can't give up the key shots. And that's what he did. This swing and a miss as he bunched up McCormick inside there with a two-seam, and he's going to go grab some pine as he throws out the obligatory F-bomb. So that's going to bring up Martin Maldonado. John Ott here with you, following alongside on the local Fox feed. You can watch the Fox feed side on any of it, and I think you can also watch on MLB Network for or the Deportes side, Spanish side of it, just in case you want to follow along on that side. I did have a couple comments on the YouTube side, so if I do get anything that's in Spanish, I'll just have the Google Translate ready again, as it's 0-1 against Maldonado. But I really appreciate it, you guys jumping in and out. So Eflin about to throw pitch number 8. Knuckle curve again. Way out in front was Martin Maldonado, and make it 0-2. Now, Houston, here's the one thing. Probably in a good spot to win this game with a 4-1 lead, no doubt about it, because Philadelphia's only got 6 runs left. If you got opportunity to add runs, don't hesitate, don't fall asleep in behind the dish. You got to make sure you make it count. If you got a pitch that you like, you better swing at it. And if you have a chance to take a walk or anything else, you better take it, because you get 27 outs for a reason. Again, I know it's an easy thing to say. If you're Houston, you want to make sure you put a kill shot in between this, not just 3 runs that it is at 4-1. If you can get a couple extra runs here, that could be it. So 1-2. Knuckle curve. Maldonado got a lot of it. This is just before the warning track, though. Good running catch there by Schwarber. Got just underneath it. Man, if he waited an extra maybe half a beat, that could have been gone. As this goes back to the top of the order again, and Jose Altuve. So take your pick. In between Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, everybody's doing damage through the 1 through 5. And good teams will do that. That's why they're in the top part of the order and the meat part of the order. Philadelphia, over their last 3 games, they've only averaged 1 run. And that's not going to get it done. That's all there is to say to it. I can say whatever I want about how I feel. And I know a lot of you guys would agree on certain things. And if you're a Houston fan, maybe not. You can say it's sour grapes. I get it. I'm not going to complain about it. But one of those situations where if you're Philadelphia, your bats have gone ice cold over the last 3 games. And the Houston bullpen pitching has got a lot to do with it. And a lot of those guys are just really damn good. Knuckle curve a little bit outside, and Altuve takes it for a ball as Jeremy Pena is waiting on deck. It's a 1-1 count. John Ott here with you, watching the local World Series here on the Fox feed. Michigan 3-2 series lead for the Houston Astros. They are 6 outs away for immortality, winning the Commissioner's Trophy. As Altuve got buckled there a little bit, but he didn't swing, and now the count swells in his favor at 2-1. Glad you can join me here. What's at stake? Houston wins Game 6. They win the World Series Commissioner's Trophy. If Philadelphia comes back and wins. We're going to do this again at 8:05 Eastern tomorrow night. Altuve, count in his favor. A little bit behind on the breaking ball. That was a sinker that didn't sink too much, but it's 2-2. For Altuve, again, his numbers in the regular season, 328 home runs, 57 RBI, 87 strikeouts, 66 walks. He is a flat-out beast no matter what you think of. That guy's going to the Hall of Fame as long as they're all eligible for it. Altuve drives this one down the left field line. This is going to split the gap. Schwarber is going to have to play this one on a hop. Schwarber still can't locate it. I don't know if Altuve was running the whole way. He's going to take a double, safe one at that. And that's going to bring up Jeremy Pena. And you get a situation where Pena gets a single again, you're easily scoring on second base side of it. And 103rd career postseason hit tied for fourth most in MLB history, Jorge Posada. Well, the Houston Astros are always in the postseason, so that makes no mistake about it. And he got all of it on the knuckle curve, and he drove it down the left field line. Schwarber didn't do a great job of cutting that off, to be honest with you. He's lucky, honestly, as he shrugs his head. Again, Schwarber very demonstrative when he feels like he made a mistake. But another situation where Pena gets a base hit, it's 5-1. You walk Pena, pitch to Alvarez, it could be 6-1. So postseason, 351, 2 singles and a run score. They're training an MVP for Pena right now. Don't blame him, because he's probably going to be the World Series MVP. Yordan Alvarez had the biggest shot of it so far to maybe clinch it here for the Astros. But Pena, over the long stretch, you'd be very hard-pressed to not give him the MVP. As he looks back there with JT Realmuto and the umpire to make sure that was a strike, and then he shakes his head and digs back into the box. 0-1 against Jeremy Pena. 253, 22 bombs, 63 RBI. As the 0-1 is delivered, he swings and misses on the knuckle curve, makes it 0-2. Again, the 253, 22 bombs, 63 RBI is essentially the same season that you already have with Correa, but also at like $140 million less. So that's what's going to allow Alvarez and Bregman and Tucker to be re-signed. And that's what's big for the Houston Astros. You cannot put a price on that when you're able to re-sign those big boys that are all in their prime. And you got Pena, who's playing at the number 2 hole like one of the best players in baseball. And right now in the postseason is the best player in baseball. 0-2. Pena swings and misses, but I don't think he's going to mind that too much. As that ends the 7th, Phillies 6 outs. They need runs. Houston 6 outs away from immortality. It's Vierling, Sosa, and Schwarber due up next. Come right back. We'll see what happens on the top of the 8th. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for following along.
Yeah, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your world?
What will you do? What will you change? Will you make something better? Will you create something entirely new? Intel Technologies advisors provide you with the tools and expertise.
Let me go ahead and give you some updated scores. So let's do that right now as we are waiting on some of these other ones to go final. I think most of these hockey scores will be final. Really only the late games are on right now. So again, the 3-0 win for the Red Wings, and the Flames are about to drop, 4 straight games. They are down 3-1 ending the first period. So I feel bad for my partner in crime, Cooper Hopkins. Canucks all over the Preds, 3-0. That's in the first. Panthers and Kings are scoreless. That'll be the one I'm watching once this is done. Sharks and Ducks. Sharks have the 1-0 lead over the Ducks. Take a look at the Connor Bedard Bowl. 3-7-1, 3-8-2. That could be a tough game to watch, folks, if you're a fan of either of those California teams. Finals, 5-1 win for the Avalanche over the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets fall to 3-9. Blackhawks and Jets. Jets get the 4-0 win. They improve to 7-3-1. Stars all over the Oilers. 8-3-1 on the season as they win 6-2. Golden Knights are 11-2. That's now the best record in hockey. They win 6-4 over the Canadiens. Flyers upend the Senators 2-1 on the road. Seattle Kraken get a big win over the Pens 3-2 as the Pens are continuing to drop games. Ever since they started that Canadian road trip and come back home, they've kind of fallen apart. They got to right the ship. Lightning get the win over the Sabres 5-3. The Maple Leafs, that was one of the biggest games of the season right now, early, as the Bruins were trying to go 11-1. The Maple Leafs said no, and they get the one at the Scotiabank Center 2-1, and the Coyotes upend the Caps. They win 3-2 as the Caps fall to 5-6-2, and for Ovi, that team is just beat up right now. That's all there is you can say. So hopefully Cooper Hopkins, if he does come in here, I don't irritate him because, my God, when I see the scores there between the Preds and the Devils and the Kraken, that's not good to end the Flames homestand. So that Province homestand is going to go 500, 5-5. And I think he wanted at least 7-3. I don't think 5-5 is going to cut it. That's going to be a long road stand. So here's a chance right now for Bryce and Stott as Vierling is going to go take a seat for the pinch hit side. The Philadelphia Phillies have just 6 outs to work with, and they have to get 3 runs to tie, and they got to do it against Abreu and Presley in an ERA that's already below .82 with every second. What a play by Bregman as he puts the glove down and smashes the rocket and catches it in his glove. 1 up, 1 down. You couldn't hit it much harder, but a great play there by Alex Bregman as he stays stone-faced. He was in the hot corner side of it and knocked him down. He made a great play on the third base side. 1 up, 1 down. As we're going to go back to, as long as we don't have any other changes there, this is Brandon Marsh. So you went from what you just saw in the sense of Bryce and Stott and now Brandon Marsh. You got the same kind of order here. Now they're going to empty the tank here as Rob Thomson in the bench bat side as he takes a knuckle curve a little bit low. And he said, man, you've been calling that a ball all night. When you call it a strike, what are you going to call it? Phillies offense, 8 for their last 92. That is not good. 41 strikeouts. So I'm going to put that in there as well. Marsh going to wait on the 0-1 as the fastball hits a little bit off the outside corner. Just want to make sure I type this in. Apologize for the momentary lapse. So 8 for the last 92 are the Phillies offense with 41 strikeouts. Top of the 8th. I mean, that's dead silent cold. 1-1 now. Abreu. Fastball just outside at 98. That one was close and enticing, but a good job there by Marsh. Just to be able to keep his eye on it. 2-1 now is the count. Houston, 5 outs away from winning this thing and winning the Commissioner's Trophy. Brian Abreu and Ryan Presley will be there. There really is no questions about it there. You feel pretty good if you're a Houston Astros fan. Marsh, and off the hands, going to hit this deep toward the air near the warning track. Kyle Tucker will casually make the catch as he goes in between center and right field. Center right field makes the catch. And now we go back to the top of the order with Kyle Schwarber. So if Kyle Schwarber doesn't reach, it'll be Hoskins, Realmuto, and Harper in the ninth. I mean, that's really the last call there for the Phillies. They got to be able to do the damage and lift this over. There really is nothing else you can say. So Schwarber, again, he's the only one that's delivered offense here for Philadelphia, and that's kind of been the problem over the last 27. Let me get my outs correct. Over the last 27 innings, it's going to be 3 runs of offense, and that's just not good enough. Kyle Schwarber swings and misses as he's way out in front of the slider, a little bit low. Perfect pitch there by Abreu, as it was going to almost catch the black anyway. It had nothing to do but swing at him. You can see why Abreu making pitches like that, why he's so nasty. 0-1 against Schwarber. This one down in the dirt. The Schwarber will spit on it. It's 1-1. Again, Houston 4 outs away from winning the World Series. They have a 4-1 lead, and they got to feel pretty good with this back end of this bullpen. Again, toward the 7th inning side, if you were going to the numbers of it, let's just say it, and I'll have to just go ahead and make sure that I change my copy-paste side of it, so let me do that right now. So it was last 8 for 92 with 41 strikeouts. If we scroll all the way down where the notes are, the Houston Astros ERA is going even lower than this because that was from last time. They're sitting at 0.85 with 26 innings pitched. And that's going to probably go even lower after all of this. So, I mean, they've been absolutely dominant. They've been one of the best ever on that side of it. I think they were third in history. 1-2. Schwarber shows the bunt. He bunts it foul. That is a poor at bat. And now Houston 3 outs away as Brian Abreu does the job. And honestly, I scratched my head at that one. Houston, one more time at the bat rack. That could be all they need. And we'll see what happens in the bottom of the 8th.
Let your heart be light. From now on, our trouble will be outside.
T-Mobile won't raise the price of your talk, text, and data. Plus, families get over $225 in benefits every month.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right? It's comfortable. I was feeling like shooting you. What? When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized like there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine. If you're not, it's okay. Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Again, once this game is done, I'm going to have a complete game coverage to follow at hopelessportsguy.wordpress.com. We're going to get this a little bit over the 3-hour mark, so not too bad. Lauren, I appreciate you listening in on the Twitter Spaces side. If you bounced in and out, are you rooting for one of these teams? You're going to get pretty close to watching a World Series celebration. Houston right on the doorstep. They're just 3 outs away, but they get a chance to add on right now in the bottom of the 8th. If you have anything else that you want to talk about, I can also invite you on. Because it's just me doing the call tonight. I was supposed to have a 2-man booth maybe, but didn't follow through today. I couldn't get my normal guy, Cooper Hopkins, in on the call. We usually do NHL games and stuff together. Still waiting in the commercial break right now. Your score right now, heading in the bottom of the 8th, is Houston 4, Philadelphia 1. And I posed this at the beginning. I had 21 votes on the YouTube side. Not too bad. Are the Astros winning the World Series tonight? 76% of you said yes. 24% of you said no out of 21 votes. So thank you guys for jumping in and out. And again, I know I can't broadcast it on the YouTube side, but it is nice to be able to do the play-by-play, let you guys able to get something. And again, once this World Series is done, I will be back to the standard schedule of broadcasting in between NHL and NBA games. And if you have any requests, I do have ESPN Plus and NBA League Pass courtesy of NBA 2K23. We'll definitely get those in for you. So all they need right now, Dusty Baker, most wins, no World Series titles, 2,093 wins. That's the only thing he doesn't have as a manager. He's got it as a player. He's got a big-time opportunity right now to get it. So it is the closer, David Robertson. 6 2/3, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts in postseason games. 3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs. Bryson Stott in at short. Brandon Marsh will play center as the substitutions come in. And they're pretty much the monetary starters that you saw in the starting lineup for every game in Philadelphia, 3, 4, and 5. So Yordan Alvarez is up at the box now. It's going to be 3, 4, and 5 for the Houston Astros. So they don't need any more runs, but they have a chance to really go ahead and put more distance between themselves. All they really care about now is getting the final 3 outs. In the bottom of the 8th, Yordan Alvarez is going to go take a seat. So this is a chance now for Alex Bregman after Alvarez punches out. So Alex Bregman again, 28 years of age, 259, 23 bombs, 93 RBI in the regular season. And I have to mention this again. And between Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker, probably going to win the World Series tonight. But in the sense of a couple of years from now, you got to figure out what you're doing with the trifecta. And again, between 25, 28, and 25 years of age, respectively, those guys are going to be signed. But I think the main thing is Jeremy Pena is doing the same type of damage Correa did at $100 million less. So that's going to allow you to be able to keep those guys signed and keep the machine going if you're a Houston Astros fan. I mean, there is no question those are the guys that you want. I don't really anticipate this team changing too much in the offseason, but it's very important to keep Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker signed, which I imagine Houston's going to do. So 0-1. Knuckle curve. This is in off the hands. Bregman smokes it way foul down the left field line as Dusty Baker looks on. He's been chewing on the toothpick, but not as much now because Houston's got a 4-1 lead. It was a Yordan Alvarez 3-run shot in the bottom of the 6th, and it was a solo shot by Kyle Schwarber in the top of the 6th. That's been a run scoring. After that 3-run shot there by Alvarez, it was a single there from Christian Vazquez that scored Bregman off of a walk. And that's the scoring in totality as Houston leads 4-1. It's a 1-2 count against Bregman. It's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. And let me just give you the other momentary reset there in the sense of 4 runs and 6 hits for Houston, 1 run, 2 hit, 1 error for the Philadelphia Phillies right now. And that's just 3 runs in the last 3 games for Philadelphia. And that's just not going to get it done. After they felt like Thanos at Citizens Bank Park and they could do nothing wrong, Houston kind of locked in with that bullpen. And again, it was a 0.88 average for the closers there. So you're not touching them at all. And that was through 6, and now we're at the bottom of the 8th. So that number's gone down. And they're all righties. So it doesn't matter if you get the lefty matchup there, which Philadelphia's got a lot of them. They are just destroying the Phillies on that side of it. They are keeping them silenced. So full count now for Bregman. So that will mean Kyle Tucker is going to get set to do battle once again. But we got to wait on the full count pitch first. So Robertson, pitch number 10. He's the closer here for Philadelphia. Again, he was at a baseball a few seasons ago there. Again, he was the former beast for the New York Yankees. And then they had to go make sure Robertson was healthy, give him a chance to get a deal, minor league deal, come back on, and there you go. You're the closer. I mean, if you're the Philadelphia Phillies, you got to think about it as well in the sense of the teams that you beat. I mean, you went ahead and you took out the team of destiny in the term of St. Louis Cardinals in the wild card. You defeated the defending champion Atlanta Braves as Bregman launches this to left field. And you also got the Padres. So is Bregman going to have a double? He is hustling in there. Schwarber trying to get that in. He is safe. Bregman able to hustle in and get a double. And credit to Alex Bregman. He never stopped running. He hustled as soon as he got out of the box. Some of these players can be guilty of not doing that. And now Houston has a chance to add on runs with 1 out. Bregman trying to get the hand in off the bag, and we're getting a close look on the Fox side. You got that finger jammed in there a little bit, but he got there just in time before the throw. So good job by Alex Bregman to be able to hustle in and get there safe. What I was going to say was, you think about Philadelphia, this has been a hell of a run for them. And getting through the Cardinals, getting through the Atlanta Braves, the defending World Series champions, and then the Padres, who traded for Juan Soto and Josh Hader. That's no easy feat. So for everybody that said the Houston Astros were going to win in the sweep or win in 5, I picked the Houston Astros to win in 6 from the initial start of it, from the Game 1 story coverage at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. That's where you'll find the story today. If you want to follow along, John Ott at Facebook, or John Ryan Ott at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube side. If you want to follow along, that's just where it is, all one word, all together, John Ryan Ott. So I picked the Astros to win in 6, but it's a situation where you got to give the Philadelphia Phillies their flowers. Yes, they're going to fall to a stronger team, and a team that maybe, depending on where you are on the side of the rationalities, I understand. I'm trying to be as impartial as possible, and I will have something to say during the World Series moment, just like Bob Costas did before when they advanced in the round. But Philadelphia is a good team. I don't expect that to change much. Dave Dombrowski, the former GM of the Detroit Tigers, you got Nick Castellanos in there. It's a little bit interesting how that's all kind of turned around. This is a team and JT Realmuto and Schwarber and Bryce Harper that, look, they had to do the damn job. You had Nola and Wheeler. Those guys are signed. If they're not getting the job done, it's over. And you got Rob Thomson having to take over for a 22 and 29 Joe Girardi. It's a hell of a story. And on the other side for the Houston Astros is we're still looking around to make sure Bregman's okay. I don't know if there's a challenge or anything. Right now, Segura and Bregman are talking to each other. That's why I'm talking to you. In the sense of what's going on right now for Houston is 106 and 56. They were able to get a little bit of a reprieve as far as what they were doing because they won a lot of games. You go ahead and you get over the Seattle Mariners, you sweep the New York Yankees. It's about as good as you like. And I think they're challenging the call. They're going to call the runner out. And again, I said runner safe, and I looked at it secondary, and I'm thinking I thought he was safe already, unless they're going to say that he somehow took his hand off the bag. So my apologies. I actually thought Bregman was safe by a lot. Goes to show what I have. I guess with the 4 eyes, I don't have enough. So 2 outs, and now that'll bring up Alex or Kyle Tucker. Christian Vazquez would be next if Tucker reaches. Again, Tucker was the hero in game 1, and that was a game that Philadelphia came back and won 6-5. He had 2 bombs and a single, 0 for 2 with a walk in this game right now. 208, 3 home runs, 6 RBI. You got to think the 1 home run, 2 home runs, and 4 RBI were from game 1. Beautiful knuckle curve, and that's called a ball. Okay, so strike zone's been all inconsistent all night long between both of these teams, but you can't fight it. Both these teams know that. You got to swing if it's close. But again, Houston not caring too much about what else they want to add, although Bregman, that was a great at bat. I thought that was good hustle by him anyway. Tucker swings and misses on the knuckle curve. He bit on there about 10 feet below the zone. Ryan Presley is the one getting warm, as you would expect. For Dusty Baker, I think that they said this a little bit in game 1. Why didn't they pull Justin Verlander a little bit soon? And why did they do certain things for Houston now? I don't think there really was much for Dusty Baker to be able to do. He knows his bullpen's really good. You want to go with the ace on the mound that had a 177 ERA. He got lit up for 5 runs. It happens. Justin Verlander's number in the World Series was 0-7 and ERA over 6. He rebounded pretty nicely there in game 5, did he not? When he gave up just 1 run. And every other situation, it's not like Dusty Baker had to manage out of his skull. He's got the pieces in front of him. All he's got to do is do the job. He's a professional. The main thing for Dusty Baker is now it's 1-2. Tucker hits this off the end of the bat. We'll see if Marsh can get there. We'll see if Schwarber calls him off. Schwarber catches it. But the main thing, and then I'll close out my thought, the main thing for Dusty Baker was to come in after the scandal and quell the tide and get these guys back in the World Series and win. We're 3 outs away from doing so. Come right back. We'll get the official call at the top of the 9th. Ryan Presley is going to try to finish it off here for the Astros. Again, Lauren, I appreciate you following in along the Twitter Spaces side humbly. Thank you. Everyone that's followed along on the YouTube side, it's been active tonight. Thank you for that as well.
Everyone can get Verizon for just $30 a line. And now's the time to switch because you'll get up to $960 only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
To name yourself after the highest peak in North America, maybe that's audacity. But towering above is exactly what the first ever all-electric GMC Sierra EV Denali Edition 1 is built to do. With 754 horsepower.
So once this stuff is done, Lauren, I just give you a heads up here because I know you're on the Twitter Spaces side. Again, I appreciate it. I think you just left a message here.
The Sierra EV Denali.
Your TV is ahead of mine. Go Phillies. Hey, I appreciate that, Lauren. I will I'll throw you a follow here. Thank you. Once this stuff is done, I'm going to be going back to my original coverage, which will be NHL and NBA and college affiliate stuff. So I do have ESPN Plus and I do have NBA League Pass, courtesy of 2K23 Championship Edition. If there's any other stuff that you would want me to cover, just like I'll throw on the YouTube side, you let me know. You got to be feeling pretty good about the Philadelphia sports fans, right? Because in the sense of Eagles 8-0, Flyers actually off to a good start there with John Tortorella. They thought it'd be a little bit different there. You bring in Tortorella, you get away with some of those injuries, and the Flyers can stay relevant. They've been good. So if you're in a Philadelphia sports fan, you got to feel pretty good. I understand the stuff in the World Series can be a little bit of a heartbreaker, but to be able to do everything else that they've done right now, that's exceptional. And you got to be happy with all that stuff at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not this one's going to hurt. We'll see what happens if there's a miraculous comeback there. But you do got Bryce. You do got some other things in there. Maybe they can get a couple of runs, get this a little closer. But I appreciate you following along.
Brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech.
When you get Domino's delivered, you can get 82 more mix and match items for $6.99 each. And now we're adding $6.99 Parmesan bread bites. And what happens if you have a lava cake?
And I apologize, the TV's a little ahead of you. I know we're probably both streaming. I'm streaming on the Amazon 4K stick on local cable, but it's only 720p, so it's not as good as it sounds. At least we dodged the wind advisory here in Michigan because I was afraid my power was going to go out. But thank you for listening. So Ryan Presley, this is his time right now as he's got the headset thing on. I'm trying to get the call. He can't hear right now. He's like, Maldonado. He's like, I can't hear. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you want me to throw. As we're back underneath the broadcaster now, it's kind of a little funny there between Presley and Maldonado in a situation where it maybe isn't so funny. And I'll even admit to you, Lauren, when I'm trying to be partial on the broadcast side of it, I was a little sick to my stomach when I saw the Yordan Alvarez home run. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be honest. But in the sense of when you've seen that and you can't even communicate, it's a good job by the fans on both sides. You'd be loud and you'd be into it. There's Philadelphia fans in there. You'd be loud and you'd be into it as well. I don't know if I'd pay $3,500 for a ticket unless I know my team's going to win, but it's still cool to be there nonetheless. So it's going to be 2-3-4 here for Rob Thomson's squad, and this is last call. Houston Astros are 3 outs away from the World Series. They got a 4-1 lead. They got their closer on the mound, and Hoskins pounds this one, but it's strike one. That looked like that was going to be dead set for the bat path, and somehow I think Hoskins actually swung through it rather than smacking it down the left field line. So now 0-1 as Presley gets set to deliver. He gets a sent from Maldonado. Another knuckle curve. This one a little bit inside. Again, Lauren, on the set for Twitter Spaces, I appreciate it. Strike zone's been very inconsistent if you haven't followed along all night between both teams. Both teams have had a lot to complain about, but you do have to fight through it if it's close. And Hoskins got to find his pitch right now. Hoskins and Realmuto have been a little cold. Hoskins will put this down the third base line. That's kind of been a problem there for the Phillies. You only had one run, average over the last, if this goes all the way through, 27 innings. And Bryce Harper, every time he's gone up to the bat rack to go up to the dish, he's always by himself. There's nobody on base. So Presley, chance to punch out Hoskins here and get the Astros 2 outs away from immortality. He swings. He's going to let this one to King Tuck. He's going to make the catch. 2 outs away are the Houston Astros, and if I have to make this call, I'll just do it to the best of my ability. But I shudder a little bit. I'm sorry, folks. I can't lie to you. So JT Realmuto is 2 outs away now. 276 in the regular season, 22 home runs, 84 RBI. The last couple of games, it's been rough with Hoskins and Realmuto in the sense of this. They've just struck out too much. And it's going to be real tough now. They've got to get anything going that they can. I don't care what it is. It's a duck snort, a ball, a good drive there by Realmuto, and that's going to be a base hit. So Phillies aren't done yet. Bryce Harper has got a chance with 1 out, top of the 9th, although they got to get 3 runs made up here. Bryce is coming up to the dish right now. So Presley needs the final 2 outs. It's 5 pitches into his night right now. 4-1 is your score as Bryce Harper is due up. Again, I think it's a situation if you're Ryan Presley, 2-run home run is not going to hurt you. I'm not walking Bryce Harper. I'm going to go ahead and go right at him as much as I can. That's the only thing you can do right now if you're Ryan Presley. His run means nothing, Even though Bryce is 0 for 3 with a ground and 2 strikeouts, his run means nothing, and you have to just go right after it if you're Presley. Presley digs in on the first pitch. Harper hits this one. It's going to be a can of corn to Yordan Alvarez. The Houston Astros are 1 out away from immortality. And that's going to bring up Nicholas Castellanos. So if we go to all this stuff here for Houston, they last won in 2017 when it was the scandal, the sign stealing, the buzzers. When you saw the shirt there for Altuve, he knows he didn't want to get ripped off. They lost A.J. Hinch, their manager. Jeff Luna was fired, their GM. They've appeared in the World Series in 2019 where they lost to the Nationals. They appeared in 2021 when they lost to the Braves. Yes, they're a great organization, but have they ever really been punished? It's going to be utter elation right now. So all they did in that sense was lose 2 draft picks in 20 and 21 as Castellanos puts this down the right field line. Can Tucker get to it? The Houston Astros have won the World Series for the first time since 2017. And again, they are back in from 2017 when they won, when they lost in 2019 and 2021. They are your 2022 World Series champions. Whether you hate them or not, they are here to stay. Houston, H-Town, are kings again. And let me go ahead and end it like this. In the sense of everything that we talked about in between 2017 with the buzzers and the sign stealing scandal and everything with A.J. Hinch and Jeff Luna, right? Everything that went from 2017, the title doesn't get stripped away. 2018 Red Sox title doesn't get stripped away. You get a chance in 2019 where it hurt a little bit, right? You lost to the Nationals. 2020, you go through the COVID side. There's no irate fans. There's nobody else to get in your way. If you're Houston, you kind of skate through all of that, right? Then you get back in there in 2021. You lose to the Braves, but you still have the same kind of organization. You go ahead and you get pieces there. Jeremy Pena comes in. He does everything that they needed to do as far as Carlos Correa, right? It's like $130 million cheaper. Jeremy Pena essentially gives you a 24 years of age, 253 average, 22 bombs, 63 RBI. He replaces Correa effectively in a single season. All Houston did was give up 2 of their top draft picks. And when you knew that they were already going to be in the semblance of competing in the World Series, what have they really given up in between all these teams? What, a 28th, a 29th first rounder? What does that even mean to them? What have they paid? A maximum $5 million fine? What have they paid and what have they served? And how has any of the stuff, I just want to throw this out there, how has any of the stuff that they've gone back to go back and bite them in the mouth and bite them in the face? It hasn't. All the stuff that happened in between Houston and all the stuff that happened in between the Boston Red Sox, nothing was stripped and nothing was lost. And even on the Red Sox side, you brought back Alex Cora. And even on the Astros side, I thought you made the perfect hire after losing A.J. Hinch for a year to go back and bring in Dusty Baker to bring that father figure to quell everything back in, just like Jim Leland would be on the opposite side of it, to quell everything back in, bring back where the Houston Astros are supposed to be, competing for World Series and competing for titles and making it all about baseball. So Houston never had to suffer, just like the Red Sox, for any of the things that happened. And whether it's fans like me, when you think about baseball and all that stuff, they're right back in the driver's seat. They've lost over the last few years. They won in 2017. They lost in 2019, 2021. All they gave up was a couple firsts. They're right back here. They win in 2022. And everyone else, you just have to eat crow because they're not going anywhere. The only thing you have to figure out for the Astros right now is they're talking to Jose Altuve. And again, all these, this is a great team and they're going to be back again. But all you have to talk about one more time is you sign Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker when they're free agents in 2 years. You maybe lose Altuve. You maybe lose Maldonado. But what else do you really change? Everyone else is coming back, and everyone else is going to do damage. And this is a team, and they're between Olin Ryan that's on there in Houston, and when you go from Texas to Houston on that side, this is a team that's going to have to be reckoned with, whether everybody likes it or not, for the foreseeable future, and they're not going anywhere. And this is coming from someone that feels a little bit uneasy about what I see on the screen right now. I'm not going to lie to you. This is someone that also broadcasting from the Michigan side, where I feel good for Justin Verlander, but I also don't feel good because knowing that everyone else had to deal with all of it. And if I'll take this one step further, Garrett Cole took his money and went to New York, but Garrett Cole was also one of those guys that didn't want to have to answer the questions every day. And I don't blame them for that side of it because that can't be easy to do. So it's the second World Series title for the Houston Astros, and it's their second title since 2017. And it's, let's count it, 1, 2, 3, 4 World Series appearances for the Astros from 2017 to 2022. There really is nothing else you can say about it. This is a team that's going to be here for a long time, and whether you like it or not, H-Town, champions again. Guys, I humbly appreciate it. And also I want to mention this, for the Philadelphia Phillies and everyone else that's kind of feeling it right now, it was a hell of a run. Rob Thomson takes over at 22 and 29 side of it. They were up against it. And Dave Dombrowski, I mean, there really wasn't much you can do in between JT Realmuto or Bryce Harper or Nick Castellanos or Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola. You got the guys that you have. They're signed and they're signed through, and they got to be able to find a way to make this work. And what happens? You go from 22 to 29 to 87-75. Rob Thomson takes over. The Philadelphia Phillies, they beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the wild card 2-0 with 6-3 and 2-0 victories. They beat the defending champion Atlanta Braves 3-1 in the series. They win 7-6, lose 3-0, win 9-1, 8-3. They win the NLCS against the San Diego Padres, who got Juan Soto and also traded for Josh Hader. They won 2-0, lost 8-5, won 4-2, 10-6, and 4-3. And they took the Houston Astros to 6 games. The one thing you can say with the Philadelphia Phillies is, yes, their offense kind of deplenished in between games 4, 5, and 6, but you also had a closeout that you have to mention for the Houston Astros in the sense of it was a minimum of 28 innings pitched and the ERA was below 0.8. It was an all-time history, an all-time set in runs, and it's not something that's changed much. So the Houston Astros are World Series champions again. The last time they tasted it was 2017. They won in 2022. And they are your champions for the 2022 MLB season. And I would imagine, whether anyone likes it or not, they will be back. And they're going to have something to say when the 22-23 season kicks off again in March. As always, guys, I humbly appreciate anyone that followed along on Twitter Spaces. It's been active tonight. And on the YouTube side, it's been active tonight. Take care, everyone. We will see you in 2023 when the MLB season kicks off again. As far as my official coverage, before I get the heck out of here, I will be back in between NBA and NHL coverage. I usually put my week coverage on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. In between John Ott, you can also follow on Instagram at TVU Gunslinger, all one word. I will get you back to my official coverage in between the NBA and the NHL. And hopefully when we get NHL coverage, it'll be Cooper Hopkins and myself getting back into the Calgary Flames games and some of the local coverage for the Red Wings and everything else, because I love all that stuff. So I will get back to my normal schedule now that the World Series is over, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one, everybody. We'll be back with more live streams. I humbly appreciate it, guys. I will talk to you soon. Peace.